Return my disciple's life. With a crisp shout, Morongyu descended from the sky, her feet stamping into the ground. The earth rippled like waves, and the blood light that was hidden underground instantly exploded, dissipating into faint green smoke in the air. Fake. Morongyu furrowed her willow-like eyebrows, a flash of anger in her eyes. Clearly, the target she was chasing was an illusion. The real Su Jie was not here. Elder Morong. This Su Jie cannot escape. Lu Sect Master and Elder Zhong are also hunting him down. Although this little devil has some strength, he is facing 3 in the Taoist platform realm. He definitely cannot survive this time. Let's go to meet up with Sect Master Lu and Elder Zhong. See what news they have there. Maybe we'll even see the head of Evil Su. The 8 secret realm elders following Morongyu also saw this scene and shared their insights with each other. Senior sister, Su Jie is destined to meet his doom this time. Xinming's vengeance will surely be avenged. Sugu stood beside Morongyu, understanding her current emotions. The fall of her most beloved and talented disciple, Zhang Xinming, was a huge blow to her, making her wish to tear Su Jie to pieces. I want to personally kill this devil. Morongyu's eyes were filled with unwillingness, wanting to personally end Su Jie's life, not letting others do it for her. As she spoke, Morongyu turned around, intending to find Lu Guanlin and Zhong Xinping. Maybe she could catch the end of the battle, and personally kill Su Jie to avenge Zhang Xinming. Kill my husband? Are you qualified? But just as Morongyu had turned, before she could make a move, a cold voice spread throughout the scene. Who goes there? The secret realm onlookers were startled. Morongyu's chilling eyes turned to the far end of the earth. There, a red flower sedan chair appeared in view. 8 fierce ghosts over a zhang tall carried the sedan chair, transforming into handmaidens and servant papermen in festive clothes, lighting joyful lamps, sprinkling joy candy, while drums and music resounded at the front of the sedan chair. Where did this ghost come from? Courting death. A secret realm 3rd-level elder, holding a golden bell, flew towards the flower sedan chair. The top-grade magical artifact bell in his hand jangled, shaking out waves of heavenly sound, trying to intimidate these ghosts, and then take the opportunity to capture them as materials for refining artifacts. Noisy! From inside the flower sedan chair, a cold voice was heard. In the next moment, a snow-white fair hand lifted the curtain of the flower sedan chair and slightly clenched towards the direction of the hidden realm elder. The expression on this adventurous secret realm elder's face instantly froze. Rip! His skin automatically peeled away from his body, transforming into a pale paperman. All his skin stripped, the pain was intense, and the secret realm elder let out a piercing scream. But the scream didn't last more than 2 seconds before it abruptly stopped. It was his blood-soaked body, as if sliced by countless blades, shattered into pieces the size of fingers, paving the ground around. This horrifying scene stunned everyone present. What kind of monster? The secret realm elder's scalps all tingled. Such a scene was truly chilling. The one dead was a strong figure of the secret realm, not some random cat or dog. Yet he couldn't withstand even a single move and was killed by the ghost in an instant. My husband has instructed me to kill you all. So are you ready to die? The flower sedan chair came to a stop. The fierce ghosts bearing it knelt down, and the surrounding papermen turned into a sky full of red paper money, forming a red carpet laid before the sedan chair. The sedan curtain lifted, revealing a graceful figure, who gently lifted the hem of her skirt with a jade-like hand, stepping onto the red carpet and slowly walking out. Stepping out of the flower sedan chair was a young woman, dressed in a phoenix crown and brocade robe, with golden silk embroidered phoenix, a big red wedding robe, akin to a wealthy young lady stepping out. She possessed a peerless beauty, her skin like snow, warm as jade, and her delicate hands like lotus flowers emerging from water, unstained by dust. Yet the secret realm elders became as if facing a formidable enemy upon seeing her. Because as she exited the flower sedan chair, an eerie, chilling power spread like a tide, causing the earth to decay, the sky to bleed, and all things to wither. This ability to change the weather was like the heavenly might of the Taoist platform realm. But now it was seen on a ghost. Its strong curse left everyone in fear. My husband said, "You all must die here." Han Ruyan looked around, her expression unchanged. Like extinguishing these powerful cultivators present was a trivial matter. Arrogant. Everyone attacked together. The many secret realm cultivators were infuriated by Han Ruyan, but having learned from the earlier lesson, they didn't step forward one by one to die. Instead, they chose to group up and surround Han Ruyan. Everyone be careful. This is the ghost controlled by Su Jie, known as the Ghost Bride, extremely powerful, not to be underestimated. Su Gu reminded from the side. The intelligence on the Ghost Bride wasn't a secret. Many knew Su Jie had a powerful female ghost, but few had seen Han Ruyan's true appearance, because most who had were dead. This eerie power, was it you who cast the curse on my disciple? Meanwhile, Morong Yu seemed to realize something. The curse power on Zhang Xinming's body at the time of death was completely identical to that of Han Ruyan's now. I'll send you down to reunite with your disciple. Han Ruyan had recovered many memories, though her expression remained cold, her eyes lifeless. Her words had increased significantly compared to the past. Back then, she probably wouldn't have explained. Fine, if I can't kill Su Jie, I'll deal with you, ghost. Morong Yu, incensed by Han Ruyan's words and Zhang Xinming's death, acted in anger. With a twist of her jade hand, a 7 treasures glaze brush appeared in her palm. This 7 treasures glaze brush was a mid-grade magical treasure, inscribed with dense runes, possessing the power of the array movement demon destruction. With Morong Yu wielding the 7 treasures glaze brush, she wrote in the void. The characters shone brilliantly, like dazzling stars, descending to suppress Han Ruyan. Facing the siege of the righteous cultivators, the blood-colored wedding dress on Han Ruyan billowed as she gently blew a breath from her vermilion lips. Boom! The ground ahead lifted like a carpet blown by Han Ruyan's breath, transforming rapidly. Red patterns intertwined with golden silk, forming a massive blood-colored wedding dress as tall as 100 feet, crashing down like a giant wave. All the attacks from the righteous cultivators, magic artifacts, talismans, magic, flying swords, spiritual objects, were blocked by the blood-colored wedding dress, disappearing without a trace like stones cast into the sea. The secret realm cultivators turned pale. They wondered what kind of terrifying ghost they were dealing with. Suppress it for me. Morong Yu's golden characters fell, striking the blood-colored wedding dress like into a hot oil pan, causing a violent reaction. Yet none of it could stop the overwhelming blood-colored wedding dress. It fell like a surging sea of waves. 3 secret realm elders who were too slow to escape were engulfed by it, their clothes instantly transforming into white mourning garments. Trembling, they staggered on the waves of the blood-colored wedding dress, becoming living corpses. Quite a ghost you are. Prepare to die. Morong Yu's face was twisted slightly with anger, her beautiful face showing rage. She pointed the 7 treasures glaze brush fiercely at Han Ruyan.
Lin Bing Dou Ze Ye Zen Lie Xian Ding.
Morong Yu chanted the heavenly constitution while writing the 9-character true words, each word as imposing as mountains and stars. Her smooth forehead cracked open, channeling heavenly might, linking the primordial spirit of the God unification realm to the Tao River, faintly connected to the stellar forces in the depths of space, forming an array map depicting the stars in midair. On the array map, 9 deities clad in golden robes, crowned like the Star Emperor, appeared, casting cold, emotionless gazes at Han Ruyan, projecting a glow of spiritual power across the stars, transforming into 900-meter-long heavenly swords, slicing through the sky, aiming to suppress Han Ruyan. This power, borrowed from the stars, was the essence of the heavenly sword, one of their 10,000 Sword Alliance's ultimate techniques, known as the Star Formation. Han Ruyan's gaze turned to Morong Yu, as a black moon rose behind her. Standing on the black moon, she ascended into the sky, hovering high in the air, with her blood-colored wedding dress fluttering in the wind, unaffected by the sword array's killing moves. Rip! The black moon crashed into the star formation, sending a massive shockwave that dispersed the clouds, uprooting countless trees from the ground. Although Han Ruyan's blood-colored wedding dress exhibited several tears, with cracks appearing on her flesh, it was none the less unstoppable, surging through the star formation, wrapping the 9 stellar heavenly swords in layers of blood-colored wedding dress, preventing them from launching a strong assault on Han Ruyan. How can this be? How is this ghost so powerful? Morong Yu's jade face was full of shock. Her star formation had previously slain Dao platform realm cultivators, yet it couldn't trap a single fierce ghost. Rumble. The retaliation from Han Ruyan came swiftly, as she glanced at the slowly healing blood-colored wedding dress upon her, showcasing her unyielding spirit. The sky was filled with big happiness lanterns, casting a blood-red glow on the ground, as if draped with a layer of blood over the earth. On the ground, numerous full-height dressing mirrors stood like a thick forest, reflecting the figures of the righteous cultivators. On the battlefield, a secret realm elder looked at the lanterns above, feeling as if each lantern was an evil eye, constantly observing him, filling his heart with panic and unease. Whatever this ghostly thing is, we just need to smash it. This secret realm elder thought and acted accordingly, manipulating his flying sword to slice through the lanterns like sugar skewers. But this secret realm elder failed to notice that as he stared at the big happiness lanterns, the lanterns were also staring back at him. Thud! Without warning, at a certain moment, his head suddenly detached from his neck, transforming into a big happiness lantern floating up into the sky, joining the ranks of the countless overhead lanterns, as his headless body wobbled and fell to the ground. Run! This ghost is too terrifying. A secret realm elder turned to flee, but his reflection was caught in a dressing mirror. A bizarre scene unfolded. His mirrored reflection smiled and slowly raised a hand, the fingers forming a sword, piercing his own heart. In reality, the secret realm elder felt excruciating pain in his heart, with a gaping hole appearing in his chest, collapsing to the ground in disbelief with a thud. Immediately, the reflection in the mirror, with its eerie smile, continued to stretch its hand toward its head, slowly squeezing it until it distorted.
No. No.
In the face of this despairing cry from the secret realm elder, his head suddenly exploded with a bang, spreading red and white matter all over the ground. Senior sister, the information is incorrect. This is an 8th grade evil spirit, and far stronger than typical evil spirits. We can't win. We must retreat quickly. Sugu was also fleeing, heading towards Morong Yu, his face filled with panic, obviously realizing Han Ruyan's combat strength far exceeded their expectations. Morong Yu's expression changed repeatedly. Just as she couldn't decide to fight or flee, Sugu, who was running towards her, suddenly froze and collapsed to the ground. On the back of Sugu's clothes, a character for joy slowly emerged. His clothes transformed into bright red wedding robes, but his vitality was stripped away, his entire body merging into the red robes, his eyes filled with terror and despair. Sugu had absolutely no idea when he was cursed, and he couldn't resist Han Ruyan's curse killing. He died on the spot. Junior brother. Morong Yu was deeply saddened, her eyes filled with unrelenting hatred. Ignoring the damage to her primordial spirit, she fully activated the power of the Tao River, using heavenly might to empower the star formation, determined to annihilate Han Ruyan, this female ghost. Han Ruyan didn't choose to endure the oppression of the star formation again. Instead, she reached to her chest and retrieved a flapping 10,000 soul banner, the artifact Sujia had refined, the million soul banner. Your formation is useless. Han Ruyan's gaze was bleak as she waved the 10,000 soul banner. Boom! Instantly, the skies changed color, and a winding, chilling netherworld river descended from the heavens. The ground quaked. 18 bone mountains erupted from the earth, forming the netherworld bone mountain formation. Millions of Een souls perched atop the 18 bone mountains, creating a terrifying 10,000 soul army formation, causing the heavens to lose their color and the mountains to shudder. Compared to before, the 10,000 soul banner had been greatly strengthened. From a million soul banner, the number of Een souls inside continuously increased, now storing millions within, amplifying its power several times. With a wave, myriad ghosts revived. All beings trembled. Once the 10,000 soul banner appeared, it completely enveloped Morong Yu's star formation, and the sweeping Netherworld River shattered the 9 constellation heavenly swords. The 18 bone mountains, under Han Ruyan's eerie power, continuously condensed, millions of Yin souls merging into them, transforming into 18 white bone soul swords, using her opponent's method against her, shooting towards Morong Yu. After Han Ruyan waved the 10,000 soul banner, Morong Yu shuddered, feeling a terrifying cloak of death overcoming her heart. After her greatest card in the star formation was broken, Morong Yu finally realized Han Ruyan's terrifying power was beyond her ability to confront, and she turned to flee from the 10,000 soul banner's range. But her speed was nowhere near as fast as Han Ruyan wielding the 10,000 soul banner, and the white bone soul swords were about to pierce through her. "You vile female ghost, cease your arrogance." Seeing Morong Yu on the verge of falling, Zhong Xinping arrived in time, roaring furiously, using flying sword to break into the 10,000 soul banner and rescue Morong Yu. "Dear wife, focus and send her to reunite with her disciple below." Almost simultaneously, another voice rang out from above the sky dome. A massive shadow descended, and Su Jie, riding the 1,000-hand centipede, blocked Zhong Xinping's path. With no interference, the white bone soul swords became fleeting glimpses, piercing through Morong Yu's body. Morong Yu's eyes were vacant, her body trembling incessantly. Her physical body remained intact, but her primordial spirit endured the biting of millions of Yin souls, with fragments of the primordial spirit continuously flying out of her mind, merging into the 10,000 soul banner, completely losing her ability to resist. Han Ruyan floated down from the sky, her jade hand striking Morong Yu's forehead. And Morong Yu, whose primordial spirit was already a dying flame due to the Yin soul's biting, couldn't react in any way, only staring blankly as the palm fell. Bang! The next second, Morong Yu's head exploded, her primordial spirit completely disintegrating, becoming nourishment for the 10,000 soul banner. "Husband, only one remains." After finishing all this, Han Ruyan raised her head, manipulated the 10,000 soul banner, arriving beside Su Jie. Su Jie stood shoulder to shoulder with Han Ruyan, looking at Zhong Xinping with a bright smile. "I hear you're the supreme elder of Guanchao Pavilion. Are you ready to face the mixed double from our couple?" Zhong Xinping saw the combination of Su Jie, Ghost Bride, and 1,000-handed centipede, his face as dark as a pot's bottom. The tragic death of Morong Yu just now, along with Su Jie's appearance here, proved that Lu Guanlin had most likely also met his end. "You demon, hiding so deeply, you've already ascended to the Taoist platform realm." Zhong Xinping grit his teeth. Su Jie's cultivation level was at the Dao platform realm, something they had not anticipated at all. It was precisely because of this oversight that they spread out to chase him, giving Su Jie a chance to defeat them one by one. "If I didn't hide well, how could I lure you all in?" Su Jie twisted his neck, looking up and down at Zhong Xinping, and sneered. "Now that Morong Yu and Lu Guanlin are already dead, you wouldn't want them to be lonely, would you? I'll send you down to join them now." "Just you." Zhong Xinping snorted coldly, his aura burst forth. The spirit power of a Taoist platform realm 4th level surged like a mountain collapse or a tsunami, making one feel an unparalleled might. As he spoke, Zhong Xinping's right hand caressed the divine firm sword in his palm. This flying sword was a top-grade magic treasure, valued at over tens of millions of spirit stones. At this moment, the sword blade emitted fluctuating light, making the world around it crystal clear, chilling one's heart. "Husband, his soul would be very suitable for the 10,000 soul banner." Han Ruyan's dead-cold eyes fixed on Zhong Xinping. The big happiness lantern transformed by the lantern ghost filled the clouds. The 10,000 soul banner was lightly waved by Han Ruyan, seemingly sealing Zhong Xinping's fate. Buzz! The 1,000-handed centipede also let out an excited cry, its huge insect eyes brimming with ferocity, its 500-meter-long body and deep, blood-red maw floating like a mountain. Its fierce aura shook the heavens. Wife, you are right, being the supreme elder of Guanchao Pavilion. His soul is indeed fit to be the primary soul of the 10,000 soul banner. As Su Jie spoke, his gaze turned to Zhong Xinping simultaneously. Swish! Swish! Su Jie's pupils transformed into a pale purple in the depths, where two purple light rays soared. Zhong Xinping's divine firm sword automatically protected its master, and the sword chi cancelled out the purple light rays halfway. Humph, petty tricks. Do you really think I'm like Murong Yu and Lu Guanlin? Today I'll show you the foundation of our Guanchao Pavilion as the leader of the Qingzhou righteous sect. With the divine firm sword encircling him, Zhong Xinping clasped both hands together and shouted angrily, "Heavenly might! Heavenly might!" Su Jie moved almost in sync with Zhong Xinping, similarly using a signature move of the Taoist platform realm. His brow cracked open as his primordial spirit connected with the Tao River, harnessing the power of nature. Rumble! The nearby nature's spiritual energy was in chaos, with howling hurricanes, the ground swelling, scorching magma erupting, and tsunamis raising giant waves, crushing everything. One was at the Tao Platform Realm 4th level, the other at the Taoist Platform Realm 2nd level, but in terms of controlling heaven and earth spiritual power, or natural heavenly might, Su Jie was not far behind Zhong Xinping. This was due to Su Jie's purple cloud thunder body, and his stable and solid foundation, with spiritual power far exceeding that of cultivators of the same level. Heavenly might, the anger of fiery rivers. Nonetheless, Zhong Xinping, being the supreme elder of Guanchao Pavilion, after wielding heavenly might and controlling various natural disasters, didn't immediately attack Su Jie but instead combined all the natural heavenly might. Magma flowed into the tsunami, the wind cyclones stirred the tidal waves, and divine thunder scattered amidst the tsunami like swimming dragons. In an instant, a gigantic flaming river of fury hung high in the sky, sweeping towards Su Jie, against which Su Jie's released heavenly might barely could withstand. Indeed, much stronger than Murong Yu and Lu Guanlin, as expected from Guanchao Pavilion. Seeing this scene, Su Jie had the leisure to sigh that the elders emerging from Guanchao Pavilion, the top sect in Qingzhou, were tougher than those from other sects. As Su Jie spoke, the thousand-handed centipede under him roared, its bloody maw agape, and its massive body confronted the advance head-on. Pieces of scale armor as large as millstones revealed incomplete Tao patterns as it plunged into the flaming river of fury. The 500-meter-long thousand-handed centipede resembled a whale diving into a small pond. The flaming river of anger couldn't contain the thousand-handed centipede at all. Although the physical body of the thousand-handed centipede was also damaged by the flaming river of fury, its colossal size, and the transformation of its body into fire, water, thunder, metal, among other elements, along with its sturdy defense and terrifying self-healing power, made such damage unable to genuinely threaten the centipede. Top grade 8 refinement goo. This body. Zhong Xinping's eyes were nearly popping out, as he clearly noticed the unusual state of the thousand-handed centipede, appearing like a Tao chaos creature, which was why his heavenly might had little real effect on the thousand-handed centipede. Curse! Before Zhong Xinping could recover from the shock of the thousand-handed centipede, a cold female voice sounded from behind him. On Zhong Xinping's neck, dark green handprints crept up, squeezing his neck so tightly that it creaked. A weaker cultivator would have had their neck already snapped. "You female ghost, how daring!" Zhong Xinping stamped his feet, and 10,000 verdant sea waves emerged from the void, while on the ground, volcanoes erupted, forming a fiery sea in the sky above, with verdant sea pressing down and fiery sea attacking from below, as if intending to make Han Ruyan into a sandwich. Han Ruyan gently flicked her blood-colored wedding dress, which rapidly expanded to block the verdant sea and fiery sea. While defending, Han Ruyan continued to pursue Qinshang. The curse descended, and 2 lines of blood tears flowed from Zhong Xinping's eyes, with his clothes showing a tendency to turn into mourning garments. Buzz buzz! The protective divine firm sword spun swiftly, its sharp sword glow dispelling Han Ruyan's curse. Zhong Xinping grew even more furious. The blue sea behind him surged powerfully, as if the entire sky had turned into a vast ocean. Go! Zhong Xinping wielded the divine firm sword, the flying sword carrying the overwhelming waves of the blue sea, piercing through Han Ruyan's wedding dress and body. Bam! The wedding dress was torn at a corner, and Han Ruyan's body staggered back a few steps. The top-grade magic treasure divine firm sword, in the hands of a powerful Taoist platform realm 4th level cultivator like Zhong Xinping, was something even Han Ruyan dared not casually touch. The divine firm sword continued its trajectory, piercing through the body of the thousand-hand centipede, drilling into its flesh. Roar! The thousand-hand centipede roared. From its massive body poured forth an uncountable number of pale corpse hands, densely enveloping the divine firm sword. The divine firm sword rotated quickly. The surrounding space seemed crystalline, constantly reflecting the sword's image. The sword split into two into four into 8, and in an instant, thousands of flying swords soared through the air, piercing through each pale corpse hand. Slash! Zhong Xinping pointed with joined fingers, and the body of the divine firm sword burst into a brilliant display of divine radiance, engulfed in a mighty storm, tearing through the clouds and heading straight for Su Jie, aiming to destroy Su Jie's physical body and obliterate his primordial spirit consciousness. A top-grade magic treasure worth millions of spirit stones, far superior to a magic artifact. Among same-level Dao platform realm cultivators, if one held a top-grade magic treasure, the odds of victory were 9-1. Barring unexpected circumstances, it was hard to imagine a cultivator with a top-grade magic treasure losing. Infuriated by the divine firm sword, the thousand-hand centipede suddenly opened its mouth and spat out the Tao breath. The Tao breath was ever-changing, containing the aura of the Tao River, and its power was terrifying. Hit by the Tao breath, the divine firm sword was immediately sent flying, swaying dizzily like it was drunk. The thousand-hand centipede took a few deep breaths. As a creature evolving towards Tao chaos creatures, it was not a true Tao chaos creature, and using the Tao breath consumed much of its energy. However, seeing the divine firm sword lose momentum, the thousand-hand centipede decisively opened its mouth and swallowed the top-grade magic treasure flying sword, briefly confining it so it couldn't unleash its edge. An opportunity. Even though his own flying sword was trapped, Zhong Xinping's eyes lit up. Seizing the opportunity, he struck a palm towards Su Jie, with the surging waves of the blue sea behind him sweeping towards Su Jie. He shared the same thought as Lu Guanlin, knowing that Han Ruyan and the thousand-hand centipede were tough opponents not easily dealt with in a short time, so he aimed to first eliminate the weakly combatant Su Jie. Seeing the blue sea approaching, Su Jie didn't dodge, and Zhong Xinping's lips couldn't help but curve slightly. Dharma form. However, before Zhong Xinping could feel pride, Su Jie formed a spell with his hands. Wings on his back, a chaos Dharma form with a single eye emerged from Su Jie. Accompanied by the blink of its unique eye, a straight beam of light blossomed. The blue sea that originally covered the sky, like Moses parting the sea, was split in two by a wide passage, reaching directly to Zhong Xinping's body. Bam! A seabowl-sized transparent hole pierced through Zhong Xinping's chest, showing the writhing organs inside. Zhong Xinping himself, struck by the massive force, hurtled from the sky into the earth, creating a huge crater. Dharma form. Zhong Xinping didn't have time to attend to his injuries. He could hardly believe his eyes. Despite Su Jie merely being at the Taoist platform realm, he managed to use a Dharma form without any external aid. Even he couldn't wield a Dharma form, a technique only mastered at the Yang God level. But there was no time left for him to be astonished. As he crashed into the ground, 18 bone mountains descended from the sky. Millions of Yin souls howled like unleashed spirits, aiming to tear Zhong Xinping apart. Han Ruyan wielded the 10,000 soul banner, controlling the Netherworld Bone Mountain formation against the enemy. Blue Sea Bright Moon. Zhong Xinping took a deep breath. The blue sea glimmered with moonlight. A bright moon rose from the sea, and he disappeared into the blue sea. The Bone Mountains plunged into the blue sea, causing waves to explode. Millions of Yin souls fell into the blue sea, frantically searching for Zhong Xinping's true body, quickly locating the target. Han Ruyan's figure silently appeared in the blue sea, stretching out her jade hand towards Zhong Xinping. Instantly the blue sea turned black and foul. The eerie cursed power caused Zhong Xinping's skin to age rapidly, hair turning gray, wrinkles spreading, his whole body emanating a decayed stench, almost cursed into being a corpse by Han Ruyan. Crack! Suddenly, a jade ring shattered on Zhong Xinping's left hand. A brilliant light enveloped Zhong Xinping. His body rapidly recovered, blocking Han Ruyan's killer attack. This jade ring was a life-saving spiritual object, crafted from some innate spiritual object, a possession of Zhong Xinping rivaling the divine firm sword. With only one use, could last for a dozen seconds, saving his life at a crucial moment. The so-called innate spiritual objects, also known as exotic treasures, naturally formed treasures influenced by spiritual energy and other factors, different from human-crafted magic artifacts, magical treasures, and spiritual treasures. These innate spiritual objects varied in power, with the weakest comparable to spiritual treasures, possessing various divine powers. Zhong Xinping's jade ring was merely fashioned from a dismantled innate spiritual object, lacking the true power of innate spiritual objects, just a remnant. Wife! At this moment, Su Jie also entered the blue sea, calling out to Han Ruyan. Han Ruyan understood intuitively and coordinated seamlessly with Su Jie. She raised a brass dressing mirror worn on her chest and aimed it at Zhong Xinping's face. For a brief moment, Zhong Xinping's face showed a daze, and Su Jie had already appeared before him. Seeing the glow still protecting Zhong Xinping, he directly chose to take out the 9-grade sacred lotus and slammed it fiercely on Zhong Xinping's skull. The 9-grade sacred lotus is also an innate spiritual object, painstakingly cultivated by Su Jie from a lotus seed until it now has 5 leaves. Although it hasn't truly matured and its main function is defense, it's still effective when used to smash someone. At the same time, the 9-grade sacred lotus's protection was still effective, safeguarding Su Jie from close encounters, unafraid that Zhong Xinping had any hidden cards to catch him off guard. Boom! The 9-grade sacred lotus exploded with endless golden light, akin to a great sun, causing the void to seemingly collapse. The protective glow around Zhong Xinping was instantly pierced, and the 9-grade sacred lotus landed on his head, making his skull buzz and his brain matter burst. I am the supreme elder of Guanchao Pavilion. How could I die here? Zhong Xinping flew back, devoid of any emotional ripple towards the 9-grade sacred lotus. Today's surprises from Su Jie were too numerous, leaving him numb. My husband! Han Ruyan called out to Su Jie, and with their hearts in sync, purple cloud heavenly thunder rained down, forcing Zhong Xinping to dodge haphazardly. Swish! A black moon rose behind Han Ruyan, her blood-colored wedding dress enveloping it. With a flash of the blood light, Zhong Xinping couldn't evade in time, and his right arm was directly severed. Su Jie approached again with the 9-grade sacred lotus and gave Zhong Xinping a few ruthless blows. This Dao platform realm 4th level elder Zhong Xinping was beaten terribly, unable to withstand the combined assault from Su Jie and Han Ruyan, his body covered in injuries. Divine Steel Sword. As Su Jie approached once more, Zhong Xinping hurriedly summoned the divine firm sword. As the top-grade magic treasure flying sword finally emerged from the 1,000-hand centipede's belly. Shao Qian, something big. Su Jie's body was surrounded by rolling heavenly thunder, once again using Dharma Chaos, controlling the single eye of the Chaos Dharma form to blink. Simultaneously, the 1,000-hand centipede opened its mouth and spewed out the prepared Tao breath. Under the dual onslaught, Zhong Xinping had no room to resist, his gaze filled with despair, as his physical body was obliterated in the radiance, leaving not even a trace. Han Ruyan, holding the 10,000 soul banner, prepared to trap Zhong Xinping's primordial spirit inside the banner. Something's wrong. The 10,000 soul banner emitted a powerful repulsive force, and Han Ruyan realized it was incorrect. Blood-colored wedding dress spread, intending to penetrate the area where Zhong Xinping's body had been eradicated. But it was a step too slow, as a scripture within Zhong Xinping's primordial spirit flipped in the void, shielding his spirit and landing directly on the divine firm sword. At this moment, The divine firm sword was shining brilliantly, directly enveloping Zhong Xinping's spirit and carrying it away in a swift escape. Trying to escape, Su Jie cursed inwardly, wondering how much this old bastard had accumulated, with hidden cards appearing continuously. However, he didn't hesitate, commanding the Thousand-Hand Centipede and leading Han Ruyan, determined to eradicate Zhong Xinping, a Dao platform realm 4th level master, to avoid letting the tiger return to the mountain. Zhong Xinping's spirit, riding the divine firm sword, fled rapidly, but with his body non-existent, only relying on his spirit. The longer time dragged, the weaker he grew, and the slower his speed became. In the midst of a pursuit and flight, both parties traversed the mountains, countryside, and cities below. On this day, many people of Qingzhou witnessed this pursuit scene. A meteor-like light sped ahead, followed by a colossal, hundreds of meters long monstrous fierce beast. This information couldn't be concealed, and soon spread in all directions across Qingzhou. Yet neither Su Jian or Zhong Xinping, engaged in the chase and escape, paid any heed to the external reaction, with Zhong Xinping fleeing desperately without discerning direction. Since Mengshan City is located at the border of Qingzhou and Qing Province, unknowingly, Su Jie's chase of Zhong Xinping led him into Qing Province. Qingzhou. If Qingzhou is the granary of the Great Li, then Qing Province is the land of marshes. The place is interwoven with developed waterways and rivers, complemented by man-made canals that connect trading ships far and wide, making it the water transport hub of the Great Li dynasty, surpassing Qingzhou in development. Among the 16 states of the Great Li dynasty, Qing Province's economy, number of cultivators, and population rank at least among the top 5. The Luochuan River is the largest river within Qing Province, spanning over 5,000 kilometers, its watery expanse dotted with tributaries, traversing multiple continents of the Great Li dynasty. On the glistening surface of the Luochuan River, ripples spread as a grand carved pleasure boat leisurely sails, stirring the clear water. The ship is crafted from precious sandalwood, its prow adorned with cloud dragon patterns, and on the deck, artists strum the qin strings, their melodious tunes accompanied by the dancing maids, their garments fluttering like graceful reflections on water. Colorful flags flutter along the ship's sides, rustling in the gentle breeze, exuding an air of flamboyance. On the ship, a finely dressed young man stands leaning against the railing, gazing afar at the bountiful lands stretching for miles on both shores. In one hand, he holds a fishing rod, fishing by the river, waiting for a fish to bite. "Sixth Prince, how's the catch?" A gentle voice comes from behind, and under the observations of the finely dressed young man, a beautiful girl approaches gracefully. She is extremely attractive, with elegant eyebrows, phoenix-like eyes, jade-like cheeks, and cherry lips. Her beauty reminiscent of morning dew, clad in blue robes, smiling brightly like flowers in bloom. Looking at this handsome young man, Wei Qingwan, a genius female disciple from the 10,000 Sword Alliance in Qing Province, is exceptionally courteous, simply because the man's identity is far from ordinary. The young man in fine clothes before her is none other than Wei Lanchen, the 6th prince of the Great Li dynasty, visiting Qing Province under the guise of a leisurely journey. The Great Li dynasty now suffers from declining power, incapable even of resolving the disaster-struck citizens under its governance. But as they say, a starved camel is still bigger than a horse. In the past, at the peak of the Great Li dynasty's founding, when its national power was at its zenith, an army of millions was composed of cultivators. It said, aside from the Taoist platform realm, even the number of Purple Mansion cultivators stationed exceeded one hand's count. The founding great emperor himself possessed tremendous power, conquering east and west, subdued the right and evil sects within the borders, making them tremble in submission. Though the Great Li dynasty has waned, no one knows how much fortune their ancestors left them, coupled with the fact that the Great Li dynasty still stands as the lawful ruling state now. Even large righteous sects like the 10,000 Swords Alliance treat the dynasty's princes with proper courtesy. The 6th Prince Wei Lanchen raised the fishing rod, looking at the bait devoured, shrugged and said, "As you saw, the fish in your Luochuan River are too cunning." Wei Qingwan lightly chuckled. "6th Prince, Perhaps it's the overpowering imperial dragon aura around you that scared the fish away. Not too far ahead we'll reach our 10,000 Sword Alliance's mountain gate. If the sixth prince is interested, the spirit fish there are much more interesting to catch. Haha! It seems like my dragon-suppressing heavenly net divine scripture is not yet fully mastered. Can't even control my own aura. Wei Lanshan laughed heartily, the dragon-suppressing heavenly net divine scripture being the royal family's supreme martial art, created by their founding great emperor, utilizing the dragon vein and imperial fortune for cultivation, unsurpassed in its domineering grandeur. Sixth prince, don't belittle yourself. Everyone knows among the royal family your cultivation talent is top-notch, already at the 5th level of the secret realm cultivation, second only to the eldest princess. There's hope you'll surpass her in the future. Wei Qingwan shook her head, giving advice to Wei Lanshan. But it's true. Being so young yet already at the 5th level of the secret realm cultivation, while having significant support and abundant resources, his natural talent can't be ignored. I can't compare to the royal sister. She's truly an immortal seedling. I have no hope of catching up in this lifetime. Wei Lanshan leaned against the ship's side, revealing a hint of a self-deprecating smile, speaking to himself. Speaking of which, your 10,000 Swords Alliance's senior brother Zhang, I saw him last time in Li City. With heroes from all over the world gathered and prodigies excelling, his performance was outstanding, an unmatched flying sword technique, worthy of being a righteous sex immortal seedling. I must learn some sword control techniques from him if I meet him this time. Upon hearing this, Wei Qingwan's expression slightly froze, looking a bit unnatural. What's wrong? Wei Lanshan noticed Wei Qingwan's unnatural expression, asked somewhat puzzled. Sixth prince, senior brother Zhang from her alliance might not be available for you to see. At this moment, another woman's voice comes. From the cabin, a woman approaches. Her eyebrows are long and elegant like ink sketches, dressed in azure, with a sword belt swaying gracefully. Her jet-black hair dances with the wind, a few strands gently brushing her thin yet delicate cheeks, surrounded by an aura of formidable sword intensity, as if capable of slicing autumn waters and piercing clouds. Qin Menjing, what nonsense are you talking about? Wei Qingwan's gaze shows displeasure, looking at the approaching woman with discontent. This woman is Qin Menjing, a genius disciple of the largest righteous sect in Qing province, the Fire Cloud Palace, and also a righteous sex immortal seedling, having competed with Zhang Ximing in the past, both hailed as the twin prides of Qing province. Due to poor relations between the 10,000 Sword Alliance and the Fire Cloud Palace, coupled with both being young female cultivators in Qing province, comparisons between them are plentiful. While their appearances were evenly matched, Wei Qingwan is only at the 2nd level secret realm, while Qin Menjing is already at the 4th level, so Wei Qingwan holds an unfavorable opinion of Qin Menjing, frequently engaging in both open and secret strife during encounters. What I said is indeed the truth. The news from Qingzhou states that your Zhang Ximing has been captured by Ghost Ridge Palace immortal seed Su Jie, who is now demanding a ransom for his release, 30 million spirit stones. I wonder if you're willing to pay. Qin Menjing slowly spoke, revealing the truth of the matter. Like Wei Qingwan, she was here to accompany Prince Wei Lanshan, showing him around Qing province, introducing local customs, and showcasing her sex etiquette. Oh, Ghost Ridge Palace immortal seed Su Jie. I've heard of his reputation. He killed Wei Ji. Unexpectedly, Zhang Ximing is also no match for him. Is this demon cultivator truly so powerful? Wei Lanshan spoke with surprise. Wei Ji, a Qingzhou righteous immortal seed, often trained in Delhi City and was a well-known figure there. His adventures and talents often fascinated people. But no one expected that upon his return to Qingzhou, news of his demise would arrive. At that time, within Delhi City, it sparked quite a bit of discussion, and the name Su Jie began to catch everyone's attention. He didn't just kill Wei Ji and capture Zhang Ximing. He also led a team and attacked a medium-sized righteous sect in Qingzhou, making his name particularly prominent there. When Qin Menjing mentioned Su Jie, her eyes showed a hint of fighting spirit, saying, "If given the chance, I'd certainly like to challenge him." Su Jie only relies on the might of the flying magical boat. In terms of strength, he can't possibly be a match for Senior Brother Zhang. When we rescue Senior Brother Zhang, next time, when they fight fairly, Su Jie will only be defeated by Senior Brother Zhang. Wei Qingwan was still defending her senior brother, unaware that her senior brother's soul had already been extinguished. No one responded to Wei Qingwan, as Qin Menjing and Wei Lanchen simultaneously raised their heads, looking into the distance. Such a strong spiritual power fluctuation. What's happening? With a sharp gaze, Qin Menjing drew her longsword and looked toward the southwest. At least the Taoist platform realm. Uncle Lu, what do you think? As a prince of the Delhi dynasty, Wei Lanchen was well informed. Just sensing the distant fluctuation allowed him to make a direct judgment. It is indeed the Taoist platform realm and is coming towards us. Be careful. An old man appeared behind Wei Lanchen at some point. Clearly, he was a Tao platform realm cultivator, specifically appointed to protect Prince Wei Lanchen. This is near our 10,000 Sword Alliance mountain gate. Who dares to be so audacious here? Wei Qingwan, with the lowest cultivation level, reacted the slowest. As she finally sensed the strong spiritual power fluctuation, the silhouette of the energy was already visible within her view. Shush! A resplendent glow, like a meteor, swiftly escaped. It was the brilliance emitted by a top-grade magic treasure-level flying sword. Through the glow, a vague humanoid infant silhouette could be seen inside, seemingly a primordial spirit. Shortly after the meteor appeared, a vast stretch of thunderous storm clouds emerged, and within the storm, a massive shadow appeared. It had a dragon scale-like shell, with two bright and vigilant large eyes flickering cold blue light beneath the lightning. Its 6 pairs of wings were like sails, and each flap stirred up gales, causing storms. Pale, contorted, and enormous corpse hands twisted menacingly, its body blocking the sunlight, casting a shadow over the earth like a moving mountain. A man and a woman stood on top of the giant insect, relentlessly pursuing the flying sword. Seeing this scene, Wei Lanchen, Wei Qingwan, and Qin Menjing all had their pupils contract. This was clearly a life-and-death struggle at the Taoist platform realm. Is that a demon cultivator? Wei Lanchen looked at the enormous flying vicious insect, its shape truly not resembling a good person. Both Qin Menjing and Wei Qingwan observed carefully, secretly becoming vigilant. A Taoist platform realm demon cultivator, they had to be cautious not to be accidentally killed. Demon cultivators love bullying the weak and lack the concept of fairness. They especially enjoy wielding power against the weak, irrespective of reputation. I am Guanchao Pavilion's Supreme Elder Zhong Xinping, and behind me is Ghost Ridge Palace Immortal Seed Su Jie, who killed Zhang Ximing and Elder Murong Yu, allies of 10,000 Sword Alliance. Come quickly to my aid. At the same time, atop the top-grade magic treasure flying sword fleeing through the sky, the primordial spirit gathered its strength, letting out a thunderous roar that reverberated across territories, audible for miles around, including the nearby 10,000 Sword Alliance mountain gate. What? He is Su Jie. Elder Murong and Senior Brother Zhang fell in battle. Wei Qingwan heard the shout that spread in all directions, and she shivered, her face full of disbelief. She carefully looked at the figure on that fierce insect. This insect indeed resembled the thousand-hand centipede described in the wanted notice, and combined with that excessively youthful face, Wei Qingwan's little cherry mouth opened wide, clenching her fists in anger. How is it possible? How could Senior Brother Zhang possibly die? Elder Murong was at the 3rd level of the Tao platform realm. How could Su Jie possibly defeat them? So that's how it is. Su Jie has already broken through the Tao platform realm. No wonder. Qin Menjing muttered to herself. No wonder Zhang Ximing was captured directly. But even so, Qin Menjing's heart was tremendously shocked. A breakthrough in the Tao platform realm is no easy feat, let alone Su Jie, who, after his breakthrough, even killed the 3rd-level Tao platform realm elder of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, Qin Menjing. As for the authenticity in this matter, Qin Menjing is not an inexperienced loose cultivator. That top-grade magic treasure flying sword cannot be fake, and she has heard of Zhong Xinping's reputation. Fire Cloud Palace and Guanchao Pavilion are mortal enemies. As an immortal seed of Fire Cloud Palace, the sect elders often brief her on the situation with their nemesis. Now, Zhong Xinping, a fourth-level cultivator of the Dao platform realm, was chased to the point where only his primordial spirit fled, a testament to Su Jie's terrifying power. The thought of wanting to challenge Su Jie, a renowned demon cultivator in Qingzhou, instantly dissipated like smoke. She knew she did not have the qualifications for a head-on battle with Su Jie. She was self-aware. The demon path in Qingzhou is this ruthless. It's even more outrageous than the demon path in Chongzhou, brazenly pursuing righteous cultivators in broad daylight, especially Dao platform realm cultivators. Wei Lanshan's eyes flickered. Even in the Deli dynasty where the demon path is most prosperous in Chongzhou, such occurrences are extremely rare. Elder Zhong, you think you can escape after offending me and want the 10,000 Sword Alliance to save you? Wishful thinking. Even if the King of Heaven himself came today, your life is mine. From the sky, once again came a thunderous tremor, accompanied by the rampage of roaring thunder. Hundreds of purple cloud heavenly thunder struck, repeatedly hitting that top-grade magic treasure flying sword. The flying sword was blasted down from the sky, landing right into the waters of the Luochuan River. The next moment, a shadow engulfed the boat, and the thousand-hand centipede descended from the sky, blocking the sunlight entirely with its wings, whipping up turbulent winds that rocked the boat up and down, causing people on the boat to sway and stumble. Su Jie landed on the river's surface, reaching out with his right hand. Tens of thousands of pale corpse hands surged, forming a gigantic hand as if to cover both sides of the Luochuan River, and grabbed into the river itself. Boom! The Luochuan River boiled as countless waters and silt were displaced. A brilliant flying sword was captured, still struggling continuously. It was impressively that top-grade magic treasure, the divine firm sword, with Zhong Xinping's broken primordial spirit attached to it, firmly pinched by Su Jie with no way to escape. I am the supreme elder of Guanchao Pavilion, you Su Jie. Zhong Xinping looked at Su Jie in fear, still trying to bring up his background. But Su Jie gave him no chance. With a grasp like a millstone, his broken primordial spirit was like a bubble being burst, utterly crushed, then absorbed into the 10,000 soul banner held by Han Ruyan. A powerful figure at the fourth level of the Dao platform realm had fallen by Su Jie's hand. So much nonsense. Su Jie shook his hand, looking at the gradually calming divine firm sword, delightfully placed it in his palm, examined it up and down, and grinned. A good sword indeed. Gulp. The boat rocked violently in the churning river waters. On the deck, Wei Qingwan swallowed, watching Su Jie, who descended from the thousand-hand centipede. Stepping on the river surface with mighty and fierce power, her eyes widened. Even though she knew this was the murderer of senior brother Zhang and elder Morong, she couldn't muster any anger. Instead, a chill spread through her body, as fear blossomed in her heart. So strong. This was Qin Menjing's only thought at the moment. Su Jie's strength made her, a genius from Qing province, feel a pressure as heavy as a mountain. They were not on the same level. The elder surnamed Lu unobtrusively blocked in front of Wei Lanshan, his face solemn as he stared at Su Jie. Wei Lanshan nonchalantly looked at Su Jie, instinctively touching the gold-plated bracelet on his hand. Only this innate spiritual object gave him a little peace of mind. After accepting Zhong Xinping's spoils of war, Su Jie finally set his gaze on the cruise ship. People of the righteous sect? Su Jie's figure floated onto the ship, his eyes sweeping across the entire area. On the cruise ship, the maids and servants were all trembling with fear. The reputation of demon cultivators was always associated with evil, filled with murder and death. Coupled with the scene of Su Jie personally killing Zhong Xinping earlier, it was no wonder that these ordinary people were panicking. Even Wei Qingwan, Qin Menjing, and Wei Lanshan, who were all accomplished cultivators in the secret realm, felt a chill down their spines, as if they had encountered a natural enemy. From the inside out, their brains constantly signaled to their bodies to flee from Su Jie, the source of danger. Su Jie's gaze passed over and locked onto the elder. This person gave Su Jie a feeling not much different from Zhong Xinping. How should I address you, sir? Ignoring Wei Lanchen and the others, Su Jie greeted the elder. Lu Cheng. The elder's eyes were extremely wary. The pressure Su Jie exerted on him was also immense. The thousand-hand centipede coiled above him, along with the alluring female ghost, made Lu Cheng aware of the stakes. A top-grade 8 refinement goo worm and an 8th-grade evil ghost, both formidable entities, coupled with Su Jie. The devil, it was 3 against 1, and Lu Cheng had no confidence in winning. Su Jie's eyes flashed with insight as he looked at Wei Lanchen, who was being shielded by Lu Cheng. For a Taoist platform realm expert to protect someone so diligently, that person's background and identity must be significant. If I'm not mistaken, this must be a disciple of the 10,000 Sword Alliance? Su Jie shifted his gaze to Wei Qingwan. The attire of this young lady was almost identical to that of Zhang Xinming, whom Su Jie had previously captured, making her easy to identify. A secret realm cultivation seems like another valuable genius disciple. Su Jie gave a cold chuckle and reached out with his hand to grab Wei Qingwan, intending to sell her for money. Su Jie, how dare you? Wei Qingwan was terrified, retreating step by step, but how could she match Su Jie's movements? Uncle Lu, Wei Lanchen shouted. Lu Cheng, feeling helpless, stepped forward and waved his sleeve, clashing palms with Su Jie. Boom! A gust of wind howled. The ship underfoot remained unscathed, but on the Luochuan River, a row of water columns erupted, countless fish and shrimp falling with the spray, making a series of splashing sounds as they hit the deck. The ship rocked up and down like a small leaf in the raging waves. Sir, you are going a bit too far. We have not interfered with your affairs. Lu Cheng carried an air of a recluse, his right hand at his back, but if seen closely, his palm was scorched black, a result of being struck by the purple night heavenly thunder. Hehehe, meeting is fate. The 10,000 Sword Alliance and I are old friends. Inviting this young lady on my little thousand-flying magic boat as a guest. What harm is there? Su Jie smiled brightly, without a trace of intention to kidnap visible in his words. Mr. Su, I ask you to give me some face. Scenes involving blades and guns are unsightly. Wei Lanchen spoke out loud, attempting to persuade Su Jie to relent. Quite the bold words. Who do you think you are? Su Jie glanced over, not taking his secret realm 5th level cultivation seriously. 6th Prince of the Deli Dynasty, Wei Lanchen. Wei Lanchen revealed his identity, attempting to scare Su Jie away. A prince. Su Jie's eyes lit up. Wei Lanchen and the others' faces turned stiff. After he revealed his identity, they felt Su Jie's aura surge explosively, like a wolf starved for 10 days, with his eyes gleaming green as he looked at them. Lu Cheng cursed inwardly. It seemed Su Jie even considered kidnapping the prince. In fact, Su Jie did think so. Capturing Zhang Xinming had netted him 15 million spirit stones. Kidnapping a prince might fetch billions, wouldn't it? However, Su Jie's bold idea only spun around in his mind before he calmed down. He knew which people could be kidnapped and which could not. If he really kidnapped Wei Lanchen and attempted to ransom the royal family, they definitely wouldn't take it lightly. No matter how unstable the Deli dynasty was, they still had deep roots. They were a massive entity that wouldn't go down easily, and not something Su Jie could provoke at present. By then, even Ghost Ridge Palace would be razed. So it's the 6th prince, an honor indeed. Since you put it that way, I'll give you some face. Su Jie reigned in his aura, his face breaking into another smile. Wei Lanchen and the others all breathed a sigh of relief. For a moment, they really thought Su Jie intended to act forcefully. However, before their hearts could settle, they heard Su Jie continue. On account of the 6th prince's request, I'll reduce the ransom a little for this young lady. As long as she doesn't make trouble, her life will be spared. You! Wei Lanchen's eyes widened. Su Jie actually dared to mess with him. In his entire life, Su Jie's arrogance was among the rarest he'd seen. But Su Jie ignored Wei Lanchen and again reached out to Wei Qingwan. The 10,000 Sword Alliance was currently his adversary. He had killed Zhang Xinming and Murong Yu. There was no erasing their blood feud. Even if he let Wei Qingwan go now, she wouldn't remember his kindness, a fact that Su Jie knew quite clearly. Sixth Prince. Wei Qingwan's face was ashen, calling for Wei Lanchen's help, knowing only he could save her. Prince, if you intervene again, think carefully about the consequences. While acting, Su Jie tossed a warning glance. Wei Lanchen's lips moved slightly, but Lu Cheng beside him shook his head, signaling that Wei Lanchen's safety was paramount, and he wasn't confident of contending with Su Jie. Seeing this, Wei Lanchen did not let Lu Cheng make another move, his face dark as he watched Su Jie take action. Wei Qingwan wanted to escape, but it was too late. In an instant, she fell behind Su Jie, who pinched her nape as if grasping a small cat. Su Jie, you wicked devil, this is Qing province. My sect is nearby. If you dare act recklessly like this, the 10,000 Sword Alliance will not let you off. Held in Su Jie's hand, Wei Qingwan's entire body was bound by pale corpse hands, only able to let out helpless fury. Catching one is the same as catching two. Let your 10,000 Sword Alliance prepare the ransom. Su Jie sneered coldly, then looked towards Qin Menjing, who was planning to retreat. Qin Menjing sensed something was wrong and said, I am Qin Menjing of the Fire Cloud Palace. My Fire Cloud Palace has no old grudges with you, nor recent disputes. Fire Cloud Palace? Well, that's no conflict. Su Jie stroked his chin, looking Qin Menjing up and down. Qin Menjing felt a chill in her body, as if someone had stripped her naked. She chided lightly, Sir, a twisted melon is not sweet. Inwardly, Qin Menjing lamented bitterly, thinking Su Jie was attracted by her beauty, and that with the nature of a demon cultivator, he would certainly do such a thing. Not to boast, but she was confident in her looks and figure, admired throughout Qing province. Su Jie's intention to forcibly take her as his wife in captivity was the only possibility Qin Menjing could think of. Su Jie was momentarily stunned and raised his eyebrow, saying, Oh, since you put it that way, I must try whether a twisted melon is sweet or not. Very sweet. Suddenly, a cold and faint voice came from behind Su Jie. Han Ruyan descended from the sky, providing the answer for Su Jie, though her gaze was a bit unnerving.
Aha, just kidding.
Su Jie instantly returned to his serious demeanor, almost forgetting that Han Ruyan was still there. Qin Menjing was quite frightened, her hand gripping the sword at her waist, ready for a final desperate struggle. Evil Su, die at my hands. Due to the delay, reinforcements from the 10,000 Sword Alliance mountain gate finally arrived. In the sky dome above, dozens of rays of escape light flew towards Su Jie. Leading them were 3 Taoist platform realm experts, the rest were secret realm elders. The 10,000 Sword Alliance, as the second in command in Qing province, was able to contend with the Fire Cloud Palace. This strength was not lacking, otherwise they wouldn't hold the second position. They emerged from emergency seclusion upon hearing Zhong Xinping's loud shout before his death. Elder, you are doomed. In Su Jie's hand, Wei Qingwan was overjoyed to see the sect elders arrive, feeling she was finally saved. A tough opponent. Su Jie took a glance, accelerated, and grabbed Qin Menjing. Although Qin Menjing wanted to resist, her flying sword was unsheathed, but the low-grade magic treasure flying sword was caught single-handedly by Su Jie. She was slapped mercilessly by Su Jie and landed on the thousand-handed centipede. Wei Qingwan was also thrown up there, confined by the thousand-handed centipede. You despicable scoundrel, bullying the weak. Qin Menjing's face flushed with anger. Su Jie, a Taoist platform realm, bullied her, a fourth layer of the secret realm, without any hint of a strong man's demeanor. Sir, where are you planning to go? Stay here. At this moment, at Wei Lanchen's indication, Lu Cheng suddenly blocked Su Jie's path. He was timid earlier, now trembling again. Upon hearing this, Su Jie's eyes turned cold. Beloved wife. Han Ruyan's black hair surged, like a black waterfall, rolling towards Wei Lanchen. Lu Cheng immediately countered, blocking in front of Wei Lanchen. Humph, Prince, is it? Next time we meet, I will not be so lenient. Su Jie glanced at the Prince Wei Lanchen, snapped his fingers, and rode the thousand-handed centipede to flee. Behind him, numerous experts from the 10,000 Sword Alliance pursued relentlessly. Upon learning of the deaths of Zhang Xinming and Murong Yu, the entire 10,000 Sword Alliance was in a rage, determined to execute Su Jie. The thousand-hand centipede darted swiftly ahead. As a top-grade 8 refinement goo worm, its speed was not particularly advantageous compared to a Taoist platform realm cultivator, but its endurance was unmatched. It could maintain its top speed for an extended period, a feat beyond the ordinary cultivator. However, the thousand-hand centipede's sheer size made it too conspicuous in the sky, and since Qing province was the territory of the righteous sects, during the escape, it was unclear what method the 10,000 Sword Alliance used to notify other righteous sects. Su Jie saw many righteous cultivators joining the pursuit, making the hunting party increasingly vast. Su Jie quickly realized this issue, furrowing his brows as he spoke. This is truly troublesome. I'll have to hold them off. I'll go. Han Ruyan stood up, about to go intercept them. Let me handle it. I'm better at keeping things discreet, and they won't be able to catch me. Su Jie shook his head, turned around, and descended from the thousand-hand centipede, standing alone at the rear of the group. Vile demon, meet your end. A middle-aged man in blue, exuding an astonishing aura, was the first to approach. This was Situ Hao, the great elder of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, a formidable fifth-layer Taoist platform realm expert. Seeing Su Jie abandon escape, he attacked in anger, wielding a 9-colored treasure seal adorned with complex ancient engravings. As the seal descended, it felt like a towering mountain pressing down, the space around it cracking under the intense pressure. His rage was due to the fact that Su Jie had killed Murong Yu, who was his Taoist partner. Bang! Su Jie's body exploded under the treasure seal, transforming into a mist of blood in the sky. Dead. 2 escaping figures appeared shortly after, both dignified men carrying flying swords. They were elders of the 10,000 Sword Alliance named Liang Weiqi and Yan Tianlei, both of the 3rd-level Taoist platform realm. Be careful of any tricks. Hong Hengxi, the current sect master of Eagle Peak Valley in Qing province, also pursued, belonging to the 1st-layer Taoist platform realm. Eagle Peak Valley was on good terms with the 10,000 Sword Alliance and rushed over to aid without a second thought. Almost as Hong Hengxi finished speaking, the blood mist, which Su Jie had transformed into, rapidly expanded in the void, resembling a vast red cloud. From the void emerged a torrential blood sea, rising in mere seconds. Above the blood sea, thunder and lightning flashed, glowing crimson under the sunlight. The endless blood appeared to boil, rolling turbulently. Blood droplets shattered on the surface, spraying blood flowers, the air thick with a nauseating stench, devoid of life, echoing only death and destruction. This is the blood sea devouring sky demon skill. Situ Hao was well-traveled and had visited Chongzhou. He immediately recognized it as the renowned blood sea devouring sky demon skill, the core technique of the blood demon cave. How many has this devil slaughtered? Although he recognized the skill's origins, Situ Hao had never seen such an exaggerated blood sea, like a vast ocean. It was unfathomable how much blood was drained from innocence to cultivate to this extent. The other 3 Taoist platform realm cultivators also slightly changed expressions, and the secret realm elders who arrived were even more astonished, their mouths agape at the billowing blood sea. Keek. Righteous sect scum. If you wish to kill me, show me your might. A gigantic human face emerged over the blood sea, resembling Su Jie. Su Jie had unveiled his true trump card. Come, embrace the blood sea, and welcome death. Amidst maniacal laughter, the blood sea surged, layered in 1,000 waves, as if stirred by an invisible giant hand. Ferociously, it bore down upon the righteous cultivators. Like a wild army galloping, the deafening roar struck fear into the heart. 9 sword seals, Calm the storm. Situ Hao wielded the top-grade magic treasure 9 sword seals, its brilliance like a dazzling sun, evaporating the impacting blood sea around him. The other 3 Taoist platform realm cultivators likewise employed magical treasures and spells, barely managing to fend off the blood sea. Liang Weiqi and Yen Tianlei, both at the 3rd level Taoist platform realm, simultaneously wielded mid-grade magical flying swords. The sword light merely cleaved 100 meters into the blood sea, insignificant against its vastness, the sword sizzling with corrosion as spirit light became tainted, diminishing in power. Hong Hengxi from the 1st layer Taoist platform was thrown into multiple somersaults by the impact, his body covered by the blood sea, corroded into a pitted condition. The secret realm elders, needless to say, were like fragile paper in the face of the blood sea's onslaught, mercilessly swallowed and dissolved within moments, becoming part of the blood sea. The boundless blood sea seemed a ravenous beast, devouring all in its path. Powerful magic artifacts appeared as mere toys, crushed mercilessly by the blood waves, breaking to pieces. Spells cast into the blood sea were consumed without a trace, unable to stir much of a ripple. Wherever the blood sea passed, lamentation filled the earth, and in a blink, over 10 secret realm elders were engulfed, turned into blood, even their primordial spirits dissolved by the blood sea. The sky and blood merged into one, the whole world seemingly left in the red grip of despair. After unleashing the blood sea devouring sky demon skill, Su Jie's combat power became extremely terrifying, stopping the pursuing team single-handedly, especially those secret realm cultivators, who were particularly vulnerable against the blood sea, having no choice but to flee and dodge. Once dragged into the blood sea, there was only one path, turning into blood water. Heh, righteous sex scum, it seems you're out of options, so allow me to send you on your way. Su Jie's gigantic face emerged over the blood sea, gazing at the panicked righteous cultivators, revealing a cruel smile. Bang! The bottomless blood sea surged and rolled, its waters a dark red, like fresh blood. Geysers of blood erupted on the sea surface, massive whirlpools forming as if gateways to hell. The vast blood sea stained the sky dome red, releasing a terrifying suction. Several secret realm cultivators were pulled into the range of the blood sea's suction, instantly dissolving and turning into blood water. 9 suns revolve. Filled with rage, Situ Hao suspended the 9 sword seals mid-air, the treasure seals rising continuously, disassembling and dispersing into 9 divine swords that pierced through heaven and earth, exuding supreme majesty, as if suppressing all things. The divine swords began to grow wings and beaks, their bodies radiant with golden feathers, transforming into the form of the 3-legged golden crow, emanating infinite light and heat. The 9 sword seals are the sect treasure of the 10,000 Sword Alliance. Although only top-grade magical treasure level, they are actually inherited from a Purple Mansion great power, possessing some spiritual treasure might. They haven't become spiritual treasures only due to a slight lack of spirituality. So-called spiritual treasures are magic artifacts with simple intelligence, like a lifeless thing gaining life, granting machinery intelligence, making their power extremely formidable. Only Purple Mansion great powers can craft spiritual treasures. Among these, the primordial spirit in the Yang God realm is the key to crafting spiritual treasures. The Yang God, through connecting with the Tao River and nurturing with the grandeur of the Tao day and night, can give birth to spiritual intelligence in spiritual treasures. As Situ Hao continuously activated spells, 9 Suns soared, the 9 golden crows flapping their wings, the high temperatures causing the air to boil, and flew into the blood sea. Immediately the blood sea boiled, countless bubbles erupted within, making the entire blood sea look as if it were boiling. "Watch me boil you dry," Situ Hao shouted fiercely, exerting all his power, almost possessing the might to burn the heavens and boil the sea. As the great elder of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, his strength was extremely terrifying, and although only 1 level higher in cultivation than Zhong Xinping, his combat power was at least several times greater under the 9 sword seals. This scene was extremely terrifying, vast, and heart-stirring. Although the 9 golden crows, soaring above the blood sea, were small like dust compared to it. Their passage burned everything into nothingness, and every move carried the might of the great sun. During the battle, the blood sea also seemed enraged, surging in countless waves, fiercely crashing against the 9 golden crows to corrode them. Even more, massive blood-colored tentacles sprung from the blood sea, like predatory chaotic behemoths, striking the golden crows, causing them to let out wails. The aftermath of Su Jie and Situ Hao's battle made it difficult for other cultivators to approach, only able to watch from afar, feeling their hearts race with fear. Humph! Just a few little birds. Su Jie's figure appeared above the blood sea, pressing one hand onto its waves. Immortal, Buddha, God, Dragon, Phoenix. Su Jie recited spells, his voice like rolling celestial music, majestic and grand. The blood sea underwent a bizarre change, starting to contract and coalesce, and one figure after another emerged from the blood sea, standing behind Su Jie. Some were 10 zhang tall, wearing kasayas, sitting in meditation with large earlobes, embodying sacred and solemn Buddhas. Some had human bodies, clad in white robes, crowned with gold, with handsome, indifferent faces, like banished immortals ruling all things. Some were 100 zhang in length, with dragon heads like mountains, dragon scales like iron, dragon eyes shining brilliantly, roaring earth-shatteringly like giant dragons. Some had wings like hanging clouds, noble and pure, their crystalline pureness and euphonic cries stirring an urge to kneel, like sacred phoenixes. What? The sudden change stunned everyone. As the righteous cultivators stared, mouths agape at the creatures Su Jie had transformed, finding their forms truly intimidating. Kill! Su Jie snapped his fingers, and the blood sea transformed into mythical beings like Buddhas, immortals, and dragons, commencing battle. The 10 zhang tall Buddha, with a step across, appeared before a secret realm cultivator. Its figure overshadowed the cultivator, who was alarmed but still attempted to control a flying sword through the Buddha's forehead. A translucent hole appeared on the Buddha's forehead, yet its actions went unhindered. Its large hand suppressed downwards, and the palm turned into a grotesque mouth, devouring half of the cultivator's body, tearing it in two. Bang! A treasure technique fell on the Buddha's body from the side, creating cracks across it. Crack, from the opened body of the Buddha. Thick liquid secreted, with sinister tentacles emerging, eyes rotating across the whole figure, covered in tentacles and jaws, instantly changing its appearance. The other creatures condensed from the blood sea also stopped disguising, with the true dragon expanding into a creature with 10 heads and 3 tails, and the banished immortal turning into a humanoid snake-headed monster. Their forms were grotesque and terrifying, lacking the symmetry and coordination of natural creations, filled with limbs, tentacles, mucus, slit pupils, and a mere glance would pollute the soul. These were in fact the heart demons conjured from Su Jie's cultivation of the blood sea devouring sky demon skill, known as the blood demon. Although the heart demons had been evolved by the son of Blue Star, it didn't mean the spawning ability disappeared. It was just that, in the past, the creatures transformed by the heart demons were not under Su Jie's control as they are now. The entire battlefield was in complete chaos, with over a dozen monsters formed by the blood sea devouring sky demon skill. Their power was formidable, their attacks fierce, completely disregarding the damage they suffered. Even if they themselves were blown apart, they still aimed to inflict harm on their enemies. Their power echoed across the battlefield, resonating with wails of agony. The clouds in the sky crumbled and shattered under their power, exploding with a sound of blood-stained fury, battling life and death with the righteous cultivators. The appearance of these monsters made the battlefield exceptionally intense, causing many righteous cultivators to display looks of terror and dread. As Su Jie focused on controlling the blood demons, Situ Hao appeared before Su Jie, striking with a palm to Su Jie's chest. Su Jie's chest caved in, and his internal organs were utterly crushed. Situ Hao delivered another palm, shattering Su Jie's forehead. Yet there was no joy on Situ Hao's face, for he couldn't sense the presence of Su Jie's primordial spirit. With a cold gaze, Situ Hao poured his spiritual power into obliterating every part of Su Jie's physical body, including every drop of blood. As long as the blood sea is unending, I am undying. You old bastard, you're far from being able to kill me. In the distance, above the blood sea, Su Jie's figure reappeared, and there was more than one of him. In the blink of an eye, over 100 Su Jies stood above the blood sea, speaking with the same tone, sending chills down one's spine. The Su family's blood sea devouring sky demon skill had been cultivated by Su Jie to the 8th level. Long ago, he had transformed all the blood in his body into holy blood, and his primordial spirit had merged into the blood sea. As long as the blood sea existed, Su Jie could not die. This was the most unsolvable aspect of the blood sea devouring sky demon skill. In terms of destructive power, it was not the strongest, but in terms of defense, if it claimed to be second, no one would dare claim first. Situ Hao's expression was as if he had eaten a dead fly. Looking at the many Su Jies standing on the blood sea, he knew clearly that to counter the blood sea devouring sky demon skill, either one must overwhelm it with superior strength to completely suppress and obliterate the entire blood sea, or fight a war of attrition to wear down the blood sea's power bit by bit, killing Su Jie time and again. Within the blood sea, Su Jie's primordial spirit was part of it. Each time Su Jie was killed, a part of his primordial spirit would be lost, causing him to grow weaker with each battle. But while this sounded easy, it was incredibly difficult to accomplish. The golden crow formed by Situ Hao's 9 sword seals evaporated less than 1/10 of the blood sea itself. To get rid of Su Jie, he felt he would have to exhaust himself completely. How many people's blood have you absorbed, you fiend, to cultivate such a ferocious demon technique? I cannot allow you to live. Situ Hao spoke harshly, wishing he could chop Su Jie into pieces, but he knew clearly that even if he slaughtered and cut Su Jie into countless pieces, as long as the blood sea existed, Su Jie could still resurrect from it. How many people's blood have I absorbed? I couldn't count. Why don't you come into my blood sea and count? One by one, the Su Jies shattered like bubbles, leaving just one standing on the turbulent blood sea, with a disdainful smile. Situ Hao couldn't figure out that Su Jie possessed a great world, with a population providing him an endless supply of fresh blood, accelerating his cultivation of the blood sea devouring sky demon skill. Su Jie kept pouring money on Blue Star, exchanging it for an unending stream of fresh blood. Today, it finally bore fruit. Even a powerful figure like Situ Hao at the 5th level of the Taoist platform realm was helpless against Su Jie, able only to slowly wear down the blood sea. As he spoke, Su Jie made his move again. The blood sea below Su Jie's feet suddenly surged forward, ignoring the 9 flapping golden crows, rushing towards Hong Hengxi. Originally battling with the blood demons, Hong Hengxi's face changed drastically as he turned to flee, but several blood demons simultaneously blocked his path, obstructing his escape route. The next moment, the rolling blood sea engulfed Hong Hengxi entirely.
No.
With a desperate shout, Hong Hengxi erupted his full spiritual power in a last attempt to break free from the blood sea's grasp, but it was too late. Although the blood sea devouring sky demon skill was not renowned for its offensive power, being an 8th level technique, for a mere 1st level Taoist platform realm cultivator, there was no escape. Hong Hengxi struggled unceasingly within the blood sea, continually using magic and magical treasures, but was dragged deeper and deeper into the blood sea, feeling utterly helpless, like a human swept up by thunderous waves. Ultimately, Hong Hengxi lasted only a minute longer than those secret realm cultivators swiftly refined, before being completely consumed by the blood sea, becoming one with it, his pure blood augmenting the blood sea devouring sky demon skill. After dealing with those who dare to help, it's your turn next. Effortlessly devouring a Taoist platform realm cultivator, Su Jie's overwhelming ferocity caused all present cultivators to change their expressions. Even Liang Weiqi and Yan Tianlei, 2 3rd-level Taoist platform realm powerhouses, instinctively moved behind Situ Hao, fearing they'd fall into the blood sea. Arrogant! Situ Hao was grinding his teeth. He didn't know Su Jie's direct combat power, but this blood sea devouring sky demon skill disgusted him. Although Su Jie couldn't threaten him directly, dealing with an undead-like opponent was exasperating. Oh, by the way, I have your sex genius disciple. If you want to redeem them, prepare tens of millions of spirit stones. Su Jie seemed to remember something and casually reminded Situ Hao. Situ Hao's face turned as dark as the bottom of a pot, nearly exploding with anger. Now, face my ultimate move, the Boundless Blood Sea. Hands weaving spells rapidly, Su Jie's words had barely fallen when the blood sea under him kept sinking, with waves rising higher and higher. Be careful, defend with all your might. Situ Hao promptly warned. It was clear that Su Jie was about to unleash his ultimate ability. The other righteous cultivators retreated, guarding themselves with all their might. But no one noticed a small stream of fresh blood sneaking into the ground, beginning to escape to a distance. Half a minute later, Situ Hao and others looked at the still boiling blood sea with questions in their minds. What kind of ultimate move requires such long preparation? But just then, a beam of light flashed down from the sky dome, like a dazzling aurora. The turbulent blood sea was instantaneously split in two, neatly severing it, evaporating at least a tenth of it, achieving what would have taken Situ Hao half a day to do. A figure stepped through the air, standing atop a high peak, gazing at the blood sea on the horizon, with sharp eyes beneath sword-like eyebrows exuding a majestic aura. The dazzling light transformed into a flying sword in his hand, a genuine low-grade spirit treasure flying sword. Sect Master! Situ Hao and others rejoiced, for the new arrival was Liuza, the Sect Master of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, a pinnacle-level Taoist platform realm powerhouse with 7th realm cultivation. Sect Master, please quickly slay Su Jie, this fiend. We mustn't let him escape. Situ Hao quickly spoke up. With Liuza present, even with the blood sea, Su Jie was doomed. 7th realm cultivation of the Taoist platform realm, coupled with the spirit treasure flying sword, not even the blood sea could save Su Jie. Foolish, he has long since fled. Liuza snorted, and with a wave of his sleeve, the massive blood sea was instantly evaporated like it had been blown dry by the wind. Su Jie's true body had already escaped, and without the primordial spirit within the blood sea, it was like a source without roots, losing its power and naturally easily destroyed. Situ Hao and his group were dumbfounded. After so many sacrifices, Su Jie still managed to escape. Don't bother chasing. This devil is ruthless and cunning, escaping stealthily. You won't find him.
Liuza snurta coldly.
He had been outside the mountain gate of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, engaged in cultivation and experience, and upon receiving a notification, he rushed over but was still one step late. It seemed Su Jie had noticed something in advance and slipped away quietly. Sect Master, Su Jie the devil killed my Taoist couple and our sect's immortal seed Xinming. He caused a huge chaos upon his arrival, abducting our sect's genius disciple Wei Qingwan. Situ Hao spoke with increasing anger, as Su Jie's actions had been a complete affront to the 10,000 Sword Alliance. I am already aware. Liuza's gaze was sharp like a sword, seemingly penetrating the void. Announce to the world, from today onwards, the 10,000 Sword Alliance and Su Jie shall not rest until one is destroyed. As the 10,000 Sword Alliance issued a warrant for his capture, everything Su Jie did was finally revealed to the world, spreading like wildfire. In Qingzhou's Mengshan City, where he ambushed and killed the sect master of the Purple Mist sect, Lu Guanlin, and later forcefully killed the 10,000 Sword Alliance elder, Morong Yu, pursued the Guanchao Pavilion's supreme elder, Zhong Xinping. Traversing mountains from Qingzhou to Qing province, he eventually killed this 4th-level Taoist platform realm expert at the mountain gate of the 10,000 Sword Alliance. Then he forcibly kidnapped the talented disciples of the 10,000 Sword Alliance and Fire Cloud Palace, Wei Qingwan and Qin Menjing, directly confronting the 10,000 Sword Alliance and slaying the sect master of Eagle Peak Valley, Hong Hengxi. In total, 4 Taoist platform realm experts died at Su Jie's hands, ranging from the 1st to the 4th level. Not to mention the secret realm elders, over 30 of whom perished by Su Jie's hand. This brilliant and brutal battle record, once surfaced, caused a major earthquake in both Qingzhou and Qing province. Su Jie, the devilish immortal seed of Qingzhou, ascended to the Taoist platform realm so quickly, and his combat strength was terrifying. The 10,000 Sword Alliance disclosed much information on Su Jie, including the 8th grade Evil Spirit, the top grade 8 Refinement Gu Worm, and the powerful Blood Sea Devouring Sky Demon skill. This revelation spread Su Jie's fearsome reputation far and wide. Especially in Qingzhou, Su Jie's place of origin. When the news reached there, many righteous cultivators couldn't believe it at all. The Guanchao Pavilion's supreme elder Zhong Xinping, a 4th-level Taoist platform realm expert, was renowned for his divine firm sword and unmatched strength over the centuries. To be suddenly told that such a famous expert was killed by Su Jie, everyone who heard the news initially reacted with disbelief. Although Su Jie was previously known for being powerful, he was ultimately just a demon cultivator at the secret realm level, with no achievements in directly confronting Taoist platform realm opponents, let alone defeating Zhong Xinping, a 4th-level Taoist platform realm expert. But as more and more information came in, especially during Su Jie's pursuit of Zhong Xinping, witnessed by many townspeople as Zhong Xinping's divine firm sword fled with the Thousand-Hand Centipede in hot pursuit, and with the Guanchao Pavilion issuing a severe pursuit order for Su Jie simultaneously, all of it confirmed that Su Jie truly killed Zhong Xinping, astonishing countless righteous cultivators. In contrast, the Demon Path side, Heavenly Soul Sect, was greatly delighted, as Su Jie's actions drew significant attention, leading to repeated reductions in the force of righteous sects targeting them. In the Ghost Ridge Palace, Su Jie's name swept through like a storm, from sect master Zhang Junwei, Taoist Qiu, Tang Peiqing, the senior members, down to the ordinary outer disciple insect catchers. Everyone was utterly shocked by Su Jie's accomplishments. The Puppet Hall disciples in particular felt honored, holding their heads high, proud of their powerful hall master's achievements. Initially, some in the Ghost Ridge Palace had reservations about Su Jie becoming the sect Saint Sun. But when Su Jie's terrifying battle record came in, all dissenting voices fell silent, entirely conquered by Su Jie's achievements. Counting all the sect Saint Suns since the founding of the Ghost Ridge Palace, no one had ever achieved feats on par with Su Jie. Not appointing such an individual as sect Saint Sun would simply be an insult to Su Jie. The fall of 4 Taoist platform realm experts would be a significant event anywhere. The news quickly spread further from Qingzhou and Qing province, across the 16 states of the Deli dynasty including the capital city, Dali City, where the name Su Jie was frequently mentioned. Unbeknownst to him, Su Jie's name gradually became the golden banner of Qingzhou's Demon Path, earning fame from a single battle. When discussing Qingzhou's Demon Path, one cannot avoid mentioning the powerful figure of Su Jie. In a remote area of Qingzhou, above the sky dome cloud layer, Su Jie, who had become a figure of great renown in the Dili dynasty, was currently flying here. In the clouds, the little 1,000-flying sky magic boat hovered, hidden by concealment formations, making it difficult to locate despite its massive size. Su Jie dismounted from the 1,000-hand centipede with Wei Qingwan and Qin Menjing, landing on the deck of the magic boat. Upon Su Jie's arrival, Chen Yun, Zhu Zhangqi, and the others excitedly gathered around. They frequently sent people off the magic boat to gather information and had all heard of Su Jie's impressive feats. Hall Master, did you really kill 4 Taoist platform realms? The outside world says the Holy Sun even charged into the mountain gate of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, greatly boosting our demon mage's morale. I reckon the Holy Sun will soon take over as sect master, leading Ghost Ridge Palace to new glories. The disciples, talking over each other, looked at Su Jie with eyes filled with admiration. Just basic operations, nothing to fuss over. Su Jie waved his hand with feigned nonchalance, but the slight curve of his lips indicated his quite good mood at the time. Besides fame, Su Jie had also gained substantial spoils from this battle, including the top-grade magic treasure flying sword, the divine firm sword. After the battle, Su Jie briefly counted the various magic artifacts, magical treasures, divine materials, spirit stones, talismans, elixirs, etc., reaping spoils worth over several tens of millions in spirit stones. If Su Jie were to reveal all his assets now, it would make both right and evil path cultivators green with envy. More so, on top of everything, Su Jie had also captured 2 new fat sheep, Wei Qingwan and Qin Menjing. Like Zhang Xinming, they could fetch a good price. Hall Master, are these 2 by any chance? Chen Yun also noticed Wei Qingwan and Qin Menjing, who were controlled and standing behind Su Jie. Although the 2 genius girls were abducted, their dazzling and pure aura, along with the innate pride, made Chen Yun feel that they were extraordinary, very similar to the group of genius disciples captured with Mo Shiryao. Keep them to sell, take them down, and take good care of them. Don't let them harm themselves, or they won't fetch a good price. Su Jie handed Wei Qingwan and Qin Menjing over to Chen Yun, instructing her to take charge of watching them. I understand. Chen Yun nodded. She was already quite experienced in handling such matters. You devil! Our 10,000 Sword Alliance will definitely not let you off. Wei Qingwan had been furious ever since she was captured. Sir, our Fire Cloud Palace will not sit back and ignore your actions. You've gone too far. Qin Menjing also angrily stated, feeling very aggrieved that she was inexplicably captured by Su Jie, and this was her first encounter with Su Jie, yet she suffered from such unwarranted disaster. What's more frustrating for Qin Menjing is that although she is an immortal seed from the Qing province, she was completely powerless against Su Jie, taken down in just 2 moves. Her identity as an immortal seed felt fake in front of Su Jie, the devilish immortal seed. Su Jie, however, ignored the impotent rage of the 2 girls, disregarding them, and started planning the next battle with Zhu Zhangxi and others. And Qin Menjing and Wei Qingwan were taken by Chen Yun towards the upper deck of the flying magical boat. On the magic boat, Mo Shiryao, Yu Wenjing, Jiang Lin, and He Wenfeng were also watching the bustling scene on the deck below. Their location was a modified room used as a prison, covered by formations, enabling only viewing but not exiting. Zhang Xinming is dead. I just knew. Yu Wenjing looked at Mo Shiryao with a hesitant expression. He thought Mo Shiryao was jinxed, loving one person who ends up dead. First there was Wei Ji, the immortal seed from Qingzhou, then Zhang Xinming, the immortal seed from Qing province, making Yu Wenjing wonder if Mo Shiryao had a natural curse against husbands. Instinctively, Yu Wenjing quietly moved his steps away from Mo Shiryao. Mo Shiryao didn't notice Yu Wenjing's small movements. She only mumbled resentfully, "This evil Su never planned to let us go. The 10,000 Sword Alliance spent so much money to ransom people. Yet evil Su backtracked and tore the tickets. Indeed, demon cultivators are a lawless bunch." Although Mo Shiryao wasn't present at the scene, she imagined and restored what she believed to be the truth. We are unaware of the real truth, but this devil killed 4 in the Taoist platform realm. The chances of us escaping on our own are ever so slim. Jiang Lin touched the forbidden magic lock on her neck, which was specifically designed to imprison cultivators, capable of sealing a cultivator's spiritual power and acupoints, rendering one's spiritual power and physical body no different from that of a mortal. She had actively attempted to break it during Su Jie's absence. But just as she had no hope of successfully breaking the lock, Su Jie returned to the magic boat, boasting an exaggerated record of achievements, making Jiang Lin feel even more pessimistic about the future. Getting angrier the more she thought, Jiang Lin gritted her teeth and said, "This devil is clearly in the Taoist platform realm, yet he comes to capture us in the secret realm, bullying the weak and demonstrating no martial virtue. If he's capable, why doesn't he go against our sect master? Given the current situation, we can only take it one step at a time. At least our lives are not in danger. If Su Jie wanted to kill us, he would have done it long ago." Yu Wenjing shook his head, lay back on the chair, showing a rather resigned attitude. Those 2 people look somewhat familiar. He Wenfeng, the monk, kept observing outside, and at this moment he saw Wei Qingwan and Qin Menjing being escorted over, finding them very familiar. I also find them familiar. Isn't that? Jiang Lin stretched her long legs and walked to the window to look outside, her beautiful eyes gradually widening. Soon after, Chen Yun unlocked the array of the house, then put Wei Qingwan and Qin Menjing inside. Inside the room, Wei Qingwan, Qin Menjing, He Wenfeng, Jiang Lin, Yu Wenjing, and Emo Shiyao exchanged looks, creating a somewhat awkward atmosphere. Wei Qingwan and Qin Menjing, the genius disciples from Qing Province, Yu Wenjing and Emo Shiyao, the genius disciples from Qingzhou, and Jiang Lin and He Wenfeng, the genius disciples from Jingzhou, met here in an unusual way. Qingzhou, Qing Province, and Jingzhou are neighboring regions, and these genius disciples from large provinces often have elders from their sects taking them on training trips, occasionally organizing transprovincial contests among young talents to showcase their sect's prowess, so everyone has heard of each other's names and is not unfamiliar. You guys are also... Yu Wenjing didn't finish his sentence, realizing it was redundant. Since Wei Qingwan and Qin Menjing appeared here, they must also be prisoners. Oh, aren't you the immortal seed from the Fire Cloud Palace of Qingzhou? You came too. Emo Shiyao looked at Qin Menjing with a tone mixed with a bit of schadenfreude. Because last time Qin Menjing came to Qingzhou for training, she invited various young talents from Qingzhou for a sword test meeting. At that time, Emo Shiyao represented the female cultivators of the younger generation in Qingzhou to participate in the sword discussion meeting. Now Emo Shiyao remembers the first sentence Qin Menjing said when she saw her. 10 levels of Yunling realm? Are the Qingzhou female cultivators of such low standard? At that time, Emo Shiyao was in the 10 levels of Yunling realm, while Qin Menjing was already in the secret realm 3rd level cultivation, hence the remark. This grudge Emo Shiyao remembered till now, and seeing Qin Menjing also as a prisoner, she felt an inexplicable sense of satisfaction. Humph, no matter how strong, isn't it the same as being a prisoner? Qin Menjing saw Emo Shiyao trying to provoke her, so she decisively couldn't hold back and said mercilessly, Little Emo, it's been so many years. How come you've only made so little progress? Only at the 1st level of secret realm cultivation? When that evil Su appeared, I thought Qingzhou was a place full of talent. But seeing you made me change my mind. There's a difference between people. Little Emo? Upon hearing this nickname, Emo Shiyao's eye twitched slightly, her eyes blazing. Haha, you're so great. How come you're also here? It seems that the training of your Fire Cloud Palace isn't that good. I heard the Ghost Ridge Palace disciples boasting on the magic boat that Evil Su attacked the 10,000 Sword Alliance Mountain Gate, and you were captured at the Mountain Gate. Is it true? If so, your Qing province elders are truly heartless, letting you be abducted without rescue. Jiang Lin chose to take Emo Shiyao's side mainly because she didn't like Qin Menjing either. Whoever made Qin Menjing a female cultivator and an immortal seed. The righteous sects in the nearby provinces often use Qin Menjing to motivate their female disciples, like a prodigious child. Jiang Lin had such an experience. How good is your righteous sect of Jingzhou? You've been captured for so long and no one paid ransom for you. It's your sect elders who don't care about you. Our senior brother Zhang did pay 1,500 spirit stones for a ransom. Seeing Jiang Lin talk about her sect, Wei Qingwan couldn't bear it either and immediately joined the battlefield angrily. The 4 women confronted each other, and as they say, when 3 women are together, there's drama. Let alone 4 women at odds, the scene was exceptionally intense. Yu Wenjing and He Wenfeng, the 2 men, shrank in a corner, watching the scene of the 4 women arguing, a line of black sweat running down their foreheads. These women, do they know their current situation at all? Instead of thinking about how to escape the demon cave, they have the leisure to quarrel. But though they were resentful in their hearts, truly stepping in to stop them, they wouldn't dare, for fear of getting themselves into trouble. This argument went on for several hours, and the women exhausted themselves with the bickering, each sitting apart, finding each other annoying. Hey you, Qin Menjing, come out, Hall Master wants to see you. At this time, the room's formation was unlocked, and Chen Yun walked in again, looked around, and called Qin Menjing's name. Just me. Qin Menjing's pretty face turned pale, instantly imagining a dreadful scene, her delicate body trembling slightly, instinctively hugging her chest, taking a step back. The others saw this scene with suspicion. Emo Shiyao and Jiang Lin even more so with confusion. They didn't remember Su Jie being lecherous. In terms of beauty, they didn't feel inferior to Qin Menjing. Su Jie hadn't touched them, So why would he touch Qin Menjing? Or does Su Jie like Qin Menjing's type? Or did Su Jie finally reveal his true nature, and his previous behavior was just a facade? Let's go. Chan Yun didn't have time for Qin Menjing's inner drama, directly grabbing her arm and forcibly taking her away, looking like a scene of abducting a maiden. Behind them, Yu Wenjing and the others were dumbstruck, especially Wei Qingwan, Mo Shiyao, and Zhang Lin, who became even more anxious, fearing they would be taken by Su Jie to serve in bed. Let go of me. I'm not going. The more Qin Menjing thought, the worse it became. For the sake of her chastity, she struggled desperately. But unfortunately, all her spiritual power was locked, and she couldn't resist Chan Yun at all. The candlelight flickered in the resplendent room, with the incense burner emitting a faint sandalwood aroma. Suddenly, a slight sound of footsteps broke the silence here, as Chen Yun gently knocked on the door. "Come in." A voice came from inside the room, and Chen Yun pushed open the door, escorting the still struggling Qin Menjing into the room. "Hall Master, Qin Menjing has been brought. Leave us." "Yes." Chen Yun exited the room, voluntarily closing the door as she left. With a creak of the heavy door, the room fell silent once again. Qin Menjing widened her beautiful eyes, nervously watching the front. There, a figure was sitting cross-legged on a cushion, surrounded by a faint mist of blood-red hue. The demonic aura was intense, as the candlelight flickered and the shadow stretched long, with mottled shadows on the walls dancing wantonly, as if some demon was about to emerge and devour the living world. An indescribable pressure enveloped the entire room. "What do you want to do?" Qin Menjing watched Su Jie, who was in cultivation, with a wary gaze. With such a powerful aura, even if she weren't currently restrained of her spiritual power, she wouldn't stand a chance against him at her peak strength. Thus, arriving here, Qin Menjing almost resigned herself. Relying on power alone, resistance was futile. Her only hope was that Su Jie wasn't truly interested in her body. Su Jie slowly opened his eyes, stood up from the cushion, and began walking towards Qin Menjing step by step. With each step Su Jie took forward, Qin Menjing took a step back, until she was cringing in a corner with nowhere else to retreat. "You don't come over." Qin Menjing curled up her body, staring at the approaching Su Jie, no longer possessing the pride of an immortal seed, her petite body trembling slightly. "Look at how scared you are. Am I really that frightening?" Su Jie gently waved his hand, and Qin Menjing's body lost control and flew right in front of Su Jie. "You!" Qin Menjing was speechless. "You've killed so many from the righteous sect, becoming the shadow in so many righteous cultivators' hearts. Are you really unaware of your own image?" Of course, Qin Menjing didn't dare voice this thought out loud, fearing it would anger Su Jie. "I am an immortal seed of Fire Cloud Palace. If you want money, name a price. Our Fire Cloud Palace won't be stingy." Qin Menjing tried to use her backing, hoping the lure of money could buy Su off. "Haha, I didn't bring you here for money." Su Jie lifted Qin Menjing's exquisite chin, gazing at her beautiful face with a slight smile. "You evil Su, may you die a horrible death. Even if you get my body, you'll never have my heart." Qin Menjing despaired immediately, her lovely face turning pale, thinking her chastity was about to be lost. "Husband, how long do you plan to play around?" Suddenly, a voice floated over from behind Su Jie. Han Ruyan turned from the dressing table, dressed in a bright red wedding dress, her tone chillingly cold. Su Jie coughed twice, suppressing his smile. "All right, you don't take a joke well either." As he spoke, Su Jie released his control over Qin Menjing. The floating Qin Menjing fell back to the ground, looking very much like a startled, puffed-up kitten, curled up to one side. Simultaneously, Qin Menjing cast a grateful glance at Han Ruyan, realizing from the conversation that her chastity seemed safe. "Let's get to the main point now." Su Jie pulled over a chair, crossed his legs, and addressed Qin Menjing. "I brought you here alone because there's something I need to discuss. As an immortal seed of Fire Cloud Palace, your status there isn't low, right?" You can meet the sect master directly, correct? I can let you go back, but you must deliver a message for me. Seeing Su Jie's serious expression, Qin Menjing was momentarily dazed before realizing that Su Jie's intention wasn't to make her serve at his side, but for another purpose. All right, what do you want me to say? I'll definitely pass it on. Coming to her senses, Qin Menjing agreed without hesitation. As long as she could leave Su Jie's presence, she was willing to convey anything. It's very simple. I, Su Jie, want to collaborate with your Fire Cloud Palace, a strategic partnership. Su Jie revealed his true intention, leaving Qin Menjing slightly agape. Collaboration? But you're a demon cultivator. Qin Menjing almost thought she misheard, instinctively responding. She originally thought Su Jie sought something from Fire Cloud Palace, but instead heard the word collaboration. A mighty demon path figure in Qingzhou seeking cooperation with the leading righteous sect of Qing Province. The Fire Cloud Palace left Qin Menjing's mind in a slight daze. Seeing Qin Menjing's astonished expression, Su Jie said calmly, "Who says the demon path and righteous sects can't cooperate? In this world, there are no eternal friends or eternal enemies, only eternal interests. As long as the benefits are large enough, right and evil can naturally join hands." Qin Menjing opened her mouth, instinctively wanting to refute, since this clashed greatly with her previous understanding. Yet, she couldn't find any ground to argue against Su Jie's words. In Qin Menjing's silence, Su Jie's voice continued, like the devil's temptation. From what I know, 80 years ago, your Fire Cloud Palace and Guanchao Pavilion engaged in a tremendous war, where 9 Taoist platform cultivators perished. At that time, your Fire Cloud Palace's sect master, a great power of the Purple Mansion realm, died at the hands of Guanchao Pavilion's sect master. Su Jie recited history. Fire Cloud Palace was the righteous leader in Qing Province, while Guanchao Pavilion held that title in Qingzhou. The former excelled at controlling fire, the latter at manipulating water, leading to inherent conflicts. At the time, Guanchao Pavilion was incredibly powerful, housing not only a sect master at the Purple Mansion realm but numerous elders, subduing all opposition in the Qing province, reaching the zenith of its power, naturally developing expansion desires, seeking more resources, spirit veins, and talented disciples. Of course, the strength of the Fire Cloud Palace is also formidable, the dominant sect in Qing province. At that time, the 10,000 Sword Alliance couldn't compete with the Fire Cloud Palace. According to common sense, although there would be friction between the two sects, there shouldn't be a brutal war. But due to an accident at the border of Qingzhou and Qing province, a loose cultivator unexpectedly discovered an ancient Great One's cave, becoming the catalyst for Fire Cloud Palace and Guanchao Pavilion's war. To seize this cave, the war between both sides lasted 3 years, countless cultivators fell, corpses scattered everywhere. Not only secret realm elders, even Taoist platform realm cultivators had fallen, 9 in total. The Purple Mansion realm sect master of Fire Cloud Palace died in battle, while the Purple Mansion realm sect master of Guanchao Pavilion suffered grave injuries and was rumored to have already passed away in seclusion. In the end, Guanchao Pavilion slightly gained the upper hand. The cave eventually fell into the hands of Guanchao Pavilion, leaving Fire Cloud Palace begrudging. Since that great war, the relationship between the two sects has remained as hostile as fire and water. Guanchao Pavilion fell into decline because of this war, giving Ghost Ridge Palace a chance to catch its breath and slowly develop. The 10,000 Sword Alliance also rose in Qing Province, occupying many spiritual material resource sites from Fire Cloud Palace, becoming the second righteous sect in Qing Province. Upon hearing Su Jie's words, Qin Menjing naturally knew about this history. After all, 80 years ago is just a lifetime for ordinary people, but for cultivators, their lifespan far exceeds that of mortals. Many elders within Fire Cloud Palace have experienced that ruthless war. Furthermore, I remember your Fire Cloud Palace doesn't get along well with the 10,000 Sword Alliance. I take it I wasn't mistaken. Su Jie continued, mentioning the 10,000 Sword Alliance. Qin Menjing's face immediately turned unpleasant. Humph, the 10,000 Sword Alliance. Back when we fought Guanchao Pavilion, If not for the 10,000 Sword Alliance taking advantage of the situation, stabbing us in the back, our Fire Cloud Palace might not have lost. Qin Menjing said fiercely. The 10,000 Sword Alliance played an unsavory role, secretly allying with Guanchao Pavilion, stabbing Fire Cloud Palace in the back, leading to the loss in the war, seizing many spiritual material sites belonging to Fire Cloud Palace, including several vital spirit stone mines, eventually developing into the second sect in Qing province, rivaling the strength of Fire Cloud Palace. As an immortal seed from Fire Cloud Palace, Qin Menjing feels a strong sense of identity with Fire Cloud Palace, almost regarding it as her own home. Even though she didn't experience the past battlefield, she empathizes deeply, filled with righteous indignation. Now, Guanchao Pavilion is my enemy, and the 10,000 Sword Alliance happens to be my enemy too. As the saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. This is our natural basis for cooperation. Su Jie finally voiced his true intention, wanting to unite with Fire Cloud Palace for a joint venture. Su Jie is aware that with his current strength, directly facing and resisting Guanchao Pavilion, a dominant power in Qingzhou, is almost impossible. Even without a Purple Mansion realm powerhouse in Guanchao Pavilion now, it's not something his Taoist platform realm second-level cultivation could overthrow. At this time, external power becomes one's leverage. What of the righteous sect? Su Jie doesn't care about collaborating with the righteous sect. As long as the goals are achieved and profits earned, conflicts of allegiance can be set aside for now. For Su Jie, war is something he relishes. To obliterate a righteous sect and earn massive gains is incredibly rewarding. Consider the Purple Mist sect. One battle provided Su Jie with tens of millions of spirit stones. That kind of accumulation through regular management would take years. Moreover, Su Jie would eventually claim leadership of Ghost Ridge Palace, commanding this demon sect. Guanchao Pavilion, as the leader of Qingzhou's righteous sects, poses a significant threat. Weakening Guanchao Pavilion's strength is a welcome prospect for Su Jie, not to mention profiting from it. This. Qin Menjing was conflicted. She saw Su Jie's eyes full of ambitious flames. You can't make decisions, just relay my words to your sect master. I'll meet with your sect master at the appointed time and place. Su Jie turned around, opened the window, and pointed outside, saying, "This is our sincerity." Qin Menjing looked toward the sound, her pupils instantly dilating. Below the flying magical boat lay a lush forest. Amidst the embracing mountains, a spiritual material mining site shrouded in mist was concealed. Its surrounding stone walls were filled with dense runes, shimmering with faint light. Occasionally, low-level cultivators traversed the area, wearing bamboo hats, wielding tools, sweating profusely as the sounds of rock chiseling echoed repeatedly. Occasionally, pieces of spirit-infused ores were cautiously mined, exuding a faint golden glow. They varied in size. When the wind occasionally blew, the tiny stone debris drifted in the wind, reflecting the sunlight, seemingly igniting golden flames. Elsewhere in the mining site stood small mountains of mined ores, awaiting transport to the outside world for cultivators to use in artifact refining. Around the mining site, patrolling disciples wearing Guanchao Pavilion's attire were everywhere, flags of Guanchao Pavilion erected. This mining area was a spiritual material mining site of Guanchao Pavilion, where a kind of spiritual material called Sunflame Stone was found in the mountains, used for magic artifact refining to effectively enhance the fire power's potency. However, this long-standing serene and harmonious mining area was now engulfed in flames of war. The little 1,000 flying sky magic boats' continuous attack formation fell down relentlessly, with many Guanchao Pavilion cultivators, under the array radiance, blown apart by strong wind, ignited into burning men by heavenly fire, struck by lightning into human-shaped charred remains, and scorched earth everywhere. On the magic boat, 1,000 Ghost Ridge Palace disciples, accompanied by 1,000-handed centipedes led by several secret realm elders, charged into the mining site with thrill and wildness. Guanchao Pavilion stationed at the Sunflame Stone mining site had the highest combat strength with only one secret realm elder. Oh no, it's Evil Su. Seeing the flying magical boat appear, The Guanchao Pavilion's secret realm elder's face changed drastically, immediately choosing sword control flight, completely ignoring the cries for help from the sect disciples, having no intention or thought of resistance against foreign enemies. Yet, his escape was futile against the thousand-handed centipede's purple light ray, while flying a few miles away, was pierced through by rays of purple light, turned into a beehive, left only a severed head dropping down, carried by the thousand-handed centipede, delivered to Su Jie. Other Ghost Ridge Palace cultivators also swarmed into the Sunflame Stone mining site, killing Guanchao Pavilion disciples, seizing the site's resources, taking away everything movable to the flying magical boat. The entire mining site was filled with smoke, echoing with the excited howls of demon cultivators and the screams of Guanchao Pavilion disciples. Like a symphony of war, saturated with death and blood, Qin Menjing breathed rapidly. Though she was a righteous sect's immortal seed, she hadn't experienced such brutal and unscrupulous warfare, purely aiming for killing and pillaging. This is my sincerity, Qin Menjing. Once you return to your sect, accurately recount everything you've seen here. Su Jie chuckled softly, handing the Guanchao Pavilion elder's head to Qin Menjing. Qin Menjing's expression was wooden as she accepted the head. Her face showed complex and indescribable emotions, gaining further understanding of Su Jie's character. This is a ruthless magnate of the demon path, who, between laughter, destroyed a spiritual material mining site, killed hundreds of cultivators, all merely to demonstrate sincerity. The cruelty of his methods sent a chill down Qin Menjing's heart, difficult for her to fully endorse Su Jie's approach. Yet, wisely, she refrained from speaking too much, unable to make decisions on the sect's major issues whether to collaborate with Su Jie. Only the Fire Cloud Palace sect master could decide. Qin Menjing didn't know that compared to the Tianyuan world, on Blue Star, the number of people indirectly killed by Su Jie was exponentially more in the Tianyuan world. Her level of insight was still too low. Several days later, Qingzhou, Firefly Sea. The Firefly Sea is actually not a sea, but a lake. Because the lake is so vast that the eye can't see its end, it has been named the Firefly Sea. In the Firefly Sea, it is rich in firefly stones, an extremely rare spiritual material. At night, under the moonlight, the firefly stones at the lake bottom emit a shimmering glow, looking like stars fallen into the lake, creating a breathtaking beauty. At the center of the Firefly Sea, an island lies within the lake, on which ancient trees tower high and streams flow, with willow trees along the lakeside swaying in the breeze. Occasionally, a few cranes fly over the lake, causing splashes. The island is filled with elegant buildings, mainly ancient and graceful, skillfully placed among the verdant mountains and clear waters, and beautifully reflected in the azure lake. At the island's edge, an imposing stone archway stands tall, with the 3 words Guanchao Pavilion engraved upon it, the strokes as sharp as a drawn sword exuding an invincible majesty. Following stone steps paved with blue stones upward, one can see the sect's inner scenes, where disciples are practicing and exchanging skills in the martial arts arena, where sword chi crosses and palm winds roar. Sect elders stroll hands behind their backs, offering guidance to disciples, showcasing deep cultivation techniques and resolving their doubts. This is where the mountain gate of Qingzhou's leading righteous sect, Guanchao Pavilion, is located. The entire sect uses the Firefly Sea as the foundation for its great formation, lasting over 1,000 years, having both flourished and declined. Today, Guanchao Pavilion remains indisputably the leading righteous sect in Qingzhou. In the central grand hall of Guanchao Pavilion, this magnificent hall enshrines statues of immortal gods, surrounded by the smoke of incense, emanating solemnity. Currently, a figure is kneeling within the hall, his hair mixed with black and white. Yet even in silent stillness, the aura he emits is intimidating. Great Elder, 3 days ago, our spirit material production sites at Sunblaze Mine in Donglin Prefecture, Spirit Plant Valley in West Pass Prefecture, Yellowstone Jade Gold Mine in Jiaxiao Prefecture. All were raided by demon cultivators led by Su Jie. He utilized the flying magical boat, accompanied by numerous demon cultivators from Ghost Ridge Palace, targeting our spirit material mining areas. A man quickly approaches. He is Chui Wenhao, an elder of the Deacon Hall at Guanchao Pavilion. Though he is only at the Secret Realm 5th level, he is trusted by the sect and holds this crucial position. The kneeling man slowly stands up. His hair may be graying, but his face doesn't show signs of aging. As the man turns around, his eyebrows are like swords, diagonally inserted into his temples, dressed in plain robes. Without any ornate decoration, a composed, calm, and self-assured aura naturally emanates from him. This is Dong Yu, the Supreme Elder of Guanchao Pavilion, with Taoist Platform Realm's 7th stage cultivation, and he presides over the vital affairs of Guanchao Pavilion. Guanchao Pavilion has a rule that only those in the Purple Mansion realm can assume the position of Sect Master. Therefore, ever since the previous Sect Master passed away 80 years ago, the Sect Master position has remained vacant. Currently, the various affairs of Guanchao Pavilion are decided by 5 Supreme Elders, and Dong Yu, due to his greatest strength and oldest qualification, leads them, wielding significant influence within Guanchao Pavilion. Order all spirit material production sites to reduce mining, except for essential spiritual material districts, for all disciples to temporarily withdraw to the sect, increase the defensive forces at the remaining sites, and set up grand formations. Dong Yu's voice is calm. Guanchao Pavilion is large and influential, with industries spread across Qingzhou. Just a few spirit material production sites being attacked is not yet detrimental, and doesn't harm Guanchao Pavilion to the extent of Elder Zhong's demise. Yes, Sect Master. But Su Jie, do we just let him run wild? Chui Wenhao's face is very frustrated. When has Guanchao Pavilion ever been bullied by demon cultivators like this? Simply insufferable. Having killed Elder Zhong, Su Jie's strength is at least Taoist Platform Realm 4th layer. Besides possessing 8th grade evil spirits and top grade 8 refinement goo worms, Su Jie also masters a profound blood sea devouring sky demon skill. This demon has become formidable, making him extremely difficult to deal with. Dong Yu's voice reflected no emotion, merely stating the objective truth. Su Jie possesses strong combat power, able to fight, flee, and maintain elusive whereabouts. One who can defeat him may not be able to kill him, and one who can kill him may not be able to find him. Even Guanchao Pavilion, without utilizing their trump cards or engaging in an ambush, only Dong Yu can independently suppress Su Jie securely enough to have a chance to kill him. Chui Wenhao understands this reasoning, but his heart remains unsatisfied. Guanchao Pavilion is undeniably powerful, but precisely due to its vastness, it appears helpless against powerful rogue demon cultivators like Su Jie. There are too many places needing protection and defense. As long as Su Jie isn't foolish enough to directly assault Guanchao Pavilion's mountain gate head-on, it's hard to catch this cunning figure. How is the communication with the 10,000 Sword Alliance? And what is Fire Cloud Palace's reaction? Dong Yu inquired. The 10,000 Sword Alliance has good relations with Guanchao Pavilion and offers substantial help in dealing with Su Jie. Additionally, attention must be paid to Fire Cloud Palace. They are Guanchao Pavilion's long-standing foes. Now, with the death of Elder Zhong Xinping, the sect's strength is weakened, making it uncertain whether Fire Cloud Palace will take action. The 10,000 Sword Alliance has agreed to share intelligence with us to jointly exterminate this evil Su Jie. As for Fire Cloud Palace, they haven't reacted much, except sending out word that they're willing to redeem the talented disciple Qin Menjing, who was kidnapped by Su Jie. Chui Wenhao quickly explained the situation and added at the end. Additionally, the reward amount for Su Jie has yet to be determined. What do you think? Offer a reward of 10 million spirit stones. Dong Yu stated an astronomical sum, but placing this reward amount on Su Jie was quite reasonable, even somewhat low. Chui Wenhao understood and quickly departed. The hall returned to silence. Dong Yu stood there, took out 3 sticks of netherworld light incense, and inserted them into the incense burner. Master, what do you think I should do now? Dong Yu sighed, seemingly speaking to himself. Inside the incense burner, the 3 sticks of netherworld light incense burned fiercely, instantly turned into ashes and collapsed. The eyes of a divine image suddenly shone brightly. An inexplicable pressure permeated the air, and a breeze arose within the hall. Dong Yu knelt, his ears twitched as if listening to something, and after a while, he raised his head again, his usually calm demeanor showing a bit of excitement. Yes, the royal family is actually seeking that. I know what to do. Master teaches rightly. Su Jie is merely a minor affliction. When Master returns to the world, he will surely sweep across the universe, eradicating all threats. The light in the eyes of the divine image gradually dimmed in response to Dong Yu's words. Crack! The sculpture of the divine image shattered, and amidst the fragments, the shadow of a peculiar, terrifying creature dissipated. If a knowledgeable cultivator were present, they would recognize it as a Dharma manifestation, condensed by the Yang God, though generally it would not be so small. Qing Province, Fire Cloud Hall. If Guanchao Pavilion relied on Firefly Sea for its construction, then Fire Cloud Hall was situated atop an active volcano. Giant Peak Mountain, a perpetually active volcano, with a spirit vein running beneath it, causing the volcano to burn not with ordinary fire, but a spiritual fire known as Earth Flame Fire. Within the volcano grew vast precious fire lotuses and various fire attribute ores. On the mountain body of Giant Peak, numerous buildings were constructed like a constellation. Within the volcano, many Fire Cloud Palace disciples sat cross-legged, wearing ice silk cold clothes to help resist the heat. Some were sitting further away, others had half their bodies submerged in the earth flame fire, their skin being roasted red by the high temperature, like scalded shrimps. Occasionally, some could not endure and fled looking like dehydrated corpses. This was the mountain gate of Qing Province's leading righteous sect, Fire Cloud Hall. The disciples practiced the Fire Cloud Palace's core technique, the fire-devouring pure Yang True method, which allowed the devouring of flames to deepen cultivation speed, the effect improving with more extraordinary spiritual fire. Giant Peak Mountain for Fire Cloud Hall was akin to Insect Valley for Ghost Ridge Palace, a dreaded place for outsiders but a treasure trove for them waiting to be tapped. 1,000 meters in the sky above the volcano mouth, a palace floated there. The palace was made entirely of fire crystal and white jade, encompassing over 1 million square meters, magnificently imposing and sustained in suspension for 1,000 years by the rising heat of the earth flame fire. This was the red shining immortal palace, built by the Fire Cloud Hall's first sect master who reportedly loved marvels, having constructed various spectacles, the largest being the red shining immortal palace. To build this red shining immortal palace, it took over 600 years, causing Fire Cloud Hall to go bankrupt 8 times, and through 5 sect masters, it was finally completed as a landmark of Qing Province. Rumor had it, each succeeding Fire Cloud Hall sect master, upon taking over, cursed the first sect master's incompetence for dragging the sect into a bottomless pit of expenditure. Previous sect masters cursed because the sect had invested too much in the red shining immortal palace, and could only continue investing to avoid leaving it unfinished, while later sect masters cursed because of the headache over the annual maintenance expenses, calling the palace a gold-swallowing beast. From the red shining immortal palace, iron chains hung down like the drooping branches of a willow tree, occasionally with cultivators going up and down among them. Only inner disciples and secret realm elders could ascend to the red shining immortal palace. Thus, these iron chains were arranged for the inner disciples who couldn't fly. At this moment beneath the red shining immortal palace, a woman stood there, gazing up at the familiar mountain gate, her eyes filled with myriad thoughts. This woman was none other than Qin Menjing, who had been abducted by Su Jie. After being released by Su Jie, she returned to Fire Cloud Hall without delay. Taking a deep breath, accompanied by several elders, Qin Menjing soared into the sky towards the red shining immortal palace to meet the waiting Fire Cloud Hall sect master, Chu Yengang. Chu Yengang was a man 2 meters tall, robust like a grizzly bear, with a bald head and red sideburns. At first glance, he resembled those martial artists in Jianghu who honed their physical strength. Seeing the sect master, Qin Menjing's eyes grew misty, reminiscing about her recent experiences which felt surreal and wonderful. However, her demeanor made Chu Yengang misunderstand, his face showing anger. "Shao Qin, did that devil humiliate you?" Does he really think that as Qingzhou's devil, Fire Cloud Hall can't deal with him? Pass my order. It's no wonder Chu Yengang was angered. Qin Menjing was an immortal seed of Fire Cloud Hall, outstandingly talented, possessing the Xian Yan's sacred body, making her the best candidate for practicing the Fire Cloud Palace's core technique, and highly anticipated by the sect. Upon learning that Qin Menjing had been abducted by Su Jie, Fire Cloud Hall immediately spread the word, willing to offer spirit stones to redeem her, very proactive. But before Fire Cloud Hall could receive a response from Su Jie, Qin Menjing had returned to the sect, leading them to believe she had painstakingly found her way back. Chu Yengang instinctively thought Qin Menjing had submitted to someone, endured humiliation, and finally found a chance to escape Su Jie's clutches. Wait, sect master, Su Jie didn't do anything to me. It's not like you think. Qin Menjing blushed and quickly interrupted, explaining, "It was Su Jie who let me go." Su Jie let you go? Chu Yengang was shocked. Su Jie was notorious in Qingzhou for capturing numerous talented disciples to demand ransom, and not once was he known for releasing someone voluntarily. Su Jie asked me to convey a message. He wishes to cooperate with Fire Cloud Hall to jointly oppose Guanchao Pavilion and 10,000 Sword Alliance, and requests the sect master's decision. As she spoke, Qin Menjing took out a head from her storage bag. Peilon Qin, a secret realm elder of Guanchao Pavilion. This was killed by Su Jie during his attack on Guanchao Pavilion's Sun Flame Stone Mine area. He says it's a gift for our cooperation. Qin Menjing relayed her conversation with Su Jie thoroughly and placed the head on the ground. Chu Yengang contemplated for a moment, then looked at Qin Menjing and asked, "You've spent time with this person. Tell me, what kind of character is he?" "In my observation, this devil is domineering and ruthless in action, ambitious and unscrupulous in achieving his goals." Qin Menjing shared her thoughts. Although her direct contact with Su Jie was brief, he left her with a profound impression. Opposing 10,000 Sword Alliance and Guanchao Pavilion, haha, indeed, a suitable cooperation partner. Upon hearing Qin Menjing's assessment, Chu Yengang laughed heartily and spoke words that surprised Qin Menjing. A person with ambition, such a devil can indeed disregard Guanchao Pavilion's fame. Chu Yangang's eyes flashed. Although Fire Cloud Hall remained the leading righteous sect in Qing province, it faced direct confrontation from Guanchao Pavilion in front and the 10,000 Sword Alliance, eyeing the throne from behind. The actual circumstance was far less favorable than it appeared. If they united with Su Jie, it might become an opportunity to strike and weaken the strength of 10,000 Sword Alliance and Guanchao Pavilion. As for potential risks of collaborating with the Demon Path, Chu Yengang paid no mind, as long as it's kept secret. Or rather, if they win the final victory, even if it's revealed, Fire Cloud Hall wouldn't be afraid. They could just revise things a bit, find some excuses to mislead the world, for history is written by the victors.
Su Ye Hui?
I hope you can bring me a good cooperation plan. Chu Yengang was already quite eager to meet Su Jie, this renowned demon path giant from Qingzhou, and experience his charisma. In the blink of an eye, several days passed by again. The weather gradually cooled, and the land was filled with the bounty of autumn harvest. Everywhere one looked, busy farmers were reaping their crops. Yet these farmers were unaware that a massive flying magical boat was silently flying across the sky above them. Xiao Qian come. Aboard the little 1,000-flying sky magic boat, Su Jie stood on the spacious front deck, controlling the divine firm sword as it buzzed and danced. Xiao Qian shrank to a length of over a meter, flapping 6 pairs of wings, chasing relentlessly after the divine firm sword. The divine firm sword was a top-grade magic treasure flying sword, acquired from Zhong Xinping's hands. After Su Jie consumed the previous owner's prohibitions on the divine firm sword, he marked it with his own imprint. Now, through this training method, he was honing his compatibility with the divine firm sword, so it would handle like an extension of himself, operating with ease. As a top-grade magic treasure, the power of the divine firm sword was undeniably formidable. Zhong Xinping relied on this flying sword to escape from Qingzhou to Qing province. Otherwise, he would have long perished at Su Jie's hands, and the subsequent events would have never transpired. Su Jie's flying sword skill wasn't particularly proficient, but fortunately, Su Jie's primordial spirit was strong enough to partially compensate for this shortcoming. In the past, Su Jie's Whitebone Sky-Slaying Sword was powerful largely due to the sword Nourishing Gourd's enhancement, but given the grade of the Divine Firm Sword, ordinary sword Nourishing Gourds were no longer effective. Under Su Jie's control, the Divine Sword transformed into a rainbow, soaring through clouds and into the sky, maneuvering agilely in the heights, slicing clouds into fragments. Upon entering uninhabited areas, it occasionally approached ground level, slicing through rivers. Rivers as wide as several tens of meters were instantly severed, interrupted for several seconds before the water managed to restore its flow. In nearing the ground, the sharp sword Qi carved a trench over 10 meters deep, sending mud waves flying to the sides. If used for farming, efficiency would be astonishing. This was just Su Jie's casual manipulation. In full force, the power of the Divine Firm Sword would further increase. The Thousand-Hand Centipede chased excitedly from behind, treating this as a game with Su Jie. Tea is brewed. Beside Su Jie, Emo Shiryao brought tea while Zhang Lin stood to one side with sweets, waiting for Su Jie to enjoy them. The newly joined Wei Qingwan was fanning with both hands to cool Su Jie off. However, her face was puffed with reluctance, unlike Emo Shiryao and Zhang Lin, who had long accepted their fate. On another side, two male disciples, Yu Wenjing and He Wenfeng, were mopping, cleaning the flying magical boat's deck. Su Jie controlled the sword while enjoying the service of these talented female disciples, a life worthy of envy. Miss Wei, you seem to have quite a grudge against me. Su Jie apparently noticed Wei Qingwan's subtle expression and raised an eyebrow to inquire it.
No.
Wei Qingwan lowered her head. She wasn't foolish. Even if truly aggrieved, she wouldn't dare voice it directly to Su Jie, which would only invite trouble. Oh, really? Aren't you eager to avenge your senior brother? Su Jie joked, as Zhang Xinming had died at Su Jie's hands. Wei Qingwan's fist clenched tightly, her chest heaving intensely, exuding a look of anger she dared not express. Hee, you all pride yourselves on wielding swords in the 10,000 Sword Alliance. How is my sword control skill? How does it compare to your senior brother Zhang's? Seeing this, Su Jie lightly flicked his fingers. The rapidly flying Divine Firm Sword pivoted and flew back to Su Jie's side, swirling around his body. Buzz! The Thousand-Hand Centipede also returned, clinging to Su Jie's chest, chirping at the flying sword, wanting to continue playing. Su Jie scratched the Thousand-Hand Centipede's chin, calming it down for the moment. Very, very powerful. Wei Qingwan reluctantly acknowledged. The 10,000 Sword Alliance, as the name suggests, excels in sword control. Even sects like Guanchao Pavilion and Fire Cloud Palace fall short in sword control compared to them. As a talented disciple of the 10,000 Sword Alliance, Wei Qingwan's prowess and insight were unquestionable. She surpassed Su Jie in sword control ability, not to mention someone like Zhang Xinming, who as an immortal seed mastered the sword heart at 18, far surpassing Su Jie in sword wielding. But sword control also depended on strength. In the face of absolute power, overwhelming force trumped all, while skill mattered little. Ha! It seems I'm quite gifted in the path of flying sword. Su Jie chuckled, unconcerned with Wei Qingwan's flattering words. Flying swords were merely embellishments to him, never his mainstay for intimidation. Su Jie released the Divine Firm Sword again, luring the Thousand-Hand Centipede to play. Witnessing this, several women, including Wei Qingwan, gazed enviously. This was a top-grade magic treasure flying sword worth tens of millions of spirit stones, a sword they desired in their dreams. If they obtained the Divine Firm Sword, they'd surely be cautious, nurturing it with utmost care, unlike Su Jie, who squandered it as a toy for the poisonous insect, showing no awareness of its preciousness. May I ask, where did Qin Menjing go? Seeing Su Jie in apparent good spirits, Emo Shiryao couldn't resist asking. Since Qin Menjing left, she hadn't returned. Emo Shiryao's query wasn't out of concern for Qin Menjing's safety, but rather a desire to know whether Qin Menjing had fallen victim to Su Jie. fearing they might become his target too. Are you concerned for her? Su Jie's gaze turned to Emo Shiryao. Yes, what's wrong with that? Emo Shiryao trembled under Su Jie's gaze, fear creeping in. I couldn't tell you all had such sisterly affection. If you want to leave and find her, you can, just pay. But here I have a rule, the first to pay only costs 3 million spirit stones, the second 6 million spirit stones, the third 12 million spirit stones. Who wants to be first?